weekly snowpocalypse up in New England.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured I was off from my 9 to 5 job, and I figured with blizzard conditions in New England, it'd be a good time to check out Hateful Eight for the first time.
So what did you think overall? I knew you liked it, all in.
I fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I would actually say it's probably one of my favorite Tarantino flicks
Really?
in a long time. Probably, I may be so bold as to say since Pulp Fiction.
Wow.
Wow.
Because obviously, I'd say everyone's a fan of Tarantino. I know Mars, your take.
Right.
But me too. When I rented Reservoir Dogs when I was 17, 18, and loved it. It was great. But I gotta say, I didn't love Kill Bill maybe as much as I feel I should have.
I didn't love it.
I gotta watch it again. I thought Death Proof was okay. Once again, maybe I gotta watch it again. I enjoyed Django, but I dug the hell out of this. I don't know if it was a matter of just the cast. It's all my favorite, Tarantino people in one room. I love the fact that and I'm a huge mark for this, when a movie can be a stage play.
Yeah,
sure.
that element I liked a lot. Yeah.
And I loved it. And actually, I kind of pondered it being a play at some point. The only criticism I have, I wish some of the cast wasn't mentioned in the credits. I know that might be fucking weird.
What do you mean?
What? Yeah, what do you mean?
The opening credits?
In the opening credits, yeah. Because there's a point in the film where there's the kind of the reveal of kind of what happened before all these characters met.
Yeah,
that's a lame critique, but I mean, it would have been an even better surprise.
Yeah. It just shows how similar and how different we are, because I think Kill Bill is probably my second favorite Tarantino film.
Okay.
And Hateful Eight is definitely my least favorite Tarantino film.
Really?
Yeah. That said, that's like saying Starman maybe isn't my favorite of the best Carpenter. You know what I mean? Right. I still like it more than most everything else. So, but we went to the theater to see it. I've only watched it maybe one other time since. And I will say, and not to sound like, a mamsy-pansy bleeding heart liberal, but I think that for someone who's as big of an exploitation fan as I am, for some of that wanton violence on that main remember. I know the impression was she was bad and a monster herself.
Yeah.
Some of that unreturned violence against that that character definitely turned me off a little bit, because I just felt like I understood that nobody was supposed to be a good guy in this, but at least in my theater, when she got knocked out of the stagecoach, people were laughing, and almost every time she got fucking 4, 5 across the nose, people were laughing. So I feel like, and I don't think that was necessarily a critique on the people. I feel like it was really the Foley effect and everything about it was was led to be that way.
It kind of came off a little bit slapsticky.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm not one of those. I know some people, are I know we've gone so far that some people would say that any cinematic violence against women raise up like a flag, but I don't know, to quote one of my mentors, I'm all about equal rights for equal fights, and there's a difference between abuse in film and in wrestling. I don't mind it when the women and the men mix it up. If it's framed in a way that even if they're smaller, the women are equal fighters. And Kill Bill is one of my favorite movies of all time, and she killed indiscriminately of sex hundreds and hundreds of people over the course of that film. And it didn't bother me when she took a little back. You know what I mean? When she, but it's a matter of that's the difference. If a female character and a male character are having a fight, and even if the male character is a little dominant, and to show that the woman character get her comeuppance, I love that. I think that's great storytelling, whether it's a smaller man or a woman or whatever else. It's Samson and Goliath. And if it's Kill Bill or Cherry from Death Proof, where
I thought you were going to say Cherry 2000.
Me too.
No,
That's what I was thinking.
or Gail Gadot as Wonder Woman or Black Widow, where they're dominant in every way to the male. I'm okay with that too, but
Right.
something about this didn't seem like abuse to me.
And I would agree. I mean, my reaction to some of those scenes was just like, damn, like, you know, I was back in my chair because it was kind of unwarranted. We know she was a bad guy, but she didn't even try to do anything nefarious.
Right. I mean, and I think to Tarantino's credit, the punchline was when she finally got loose and was a fucking Tasmanian devil. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? But like, I think you could have put those same things across, and it would have worked better if people were like, by the second time Kurt Russell raised his hand, like people were covering their eyes. If it was framed in a way where it was like violence, you know what I mean? Because they definitely made it seem. It sounded like if you left the room and listened to that, it would sound like a fight, like a cinematic fight going on,
Right.
you know. But you know, part of being a brave filmmaker, I think, is that you are constantly close to that line. And Tarantino, you know, nobody's ever gonna not cross it the right way every time. You know, like, you know, Django was close for some language. You know what I mean? Like, so, you can't have it both ways. You can either be, not that I'm agreeing with Z's take of him, but you can either be Steven Spielberg, who's become a very safe filmmaker, or you can be on the outskirts of that sort of
What about
avant-garde.
what about Spielbergo?
I don't know who Spielbergo is.
Well, just to interrupt real quick, we can continue the conversation, but we're on YouTube. We're fine. So
Okay. Wolfie, you're the one who I was kind of wondering if you could hear me at all, if I was making it any sense there, and kind of take on that. Not just that scene in Hateful Eight, but kind of.
yeah, I haven't seen it since the theater, but I do remember being a little vicious, and I was sitting next to. It always seems to happen to me. I was sitting next to some pearl clutchers, and they were like fucking flipping out at the violence in that movie. It's like, have you ever seen a Tarantino movie
Right.
before? I mean, I think you should understand what you're getting into. But
What gave it away? Written by Quentin Tarantino?
yeah,
I had no problem with it personally.
Perfect.
I mean,
of course
Well, that's
you
not
do.
shocking.
Yeah, it's not shocking anyone.
It's not. No, because I mean, you're dealing with someone who is obviously in the movie the leader of a gang. And if you got it's like the head of a snake, and if you got the head of a snake, you basically got it by the balls.
Your snakes on balls?
To use a metaphor.
I don't know if that's a metaphor.
I don't know, but what I'm saying is that
Wild Kingdom.
if you got the leader
Crikey.
if you got the leader of this gang, you know, you got this gang in trouble, you know, it's going to be concerned. Every time that and it was violent, it was vicious, and I mean, just the use of the sound editing when he hit her, it was brutal. It was wonderful sound effects, but also at the same time, it's not like she was helpless either, because she was taking these hits by Kurt Russell's character, and she wasn't crying or anything like that. She took it because
She knew.
that,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. She knew, and also with him hitting her the way he was, I mean, truth be told, I mean, that was just the time then. You know, I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it was wrong, but it was just the time. That's the way culprits, I guess you could say, were handled back then by bounty hunters that were being. Well, I think to say that violence towards women has eased up a little bit over time. So
we are
I
certainly
mean,
more of an enlightened species, but like, I don't think. I think what's changed is probably not the amount of violence against women or violence against anybody, to be honest, Monstezio. I think that the world, I mean, even in the time, even myself in the time that we started this podcast, I think that the world has gotten, I hate to use the word because it sounds almost spiritual, but enlightened. And I think that it's not that the violence is any less. It's that, like, I think that we're more ashamed of it and more aware of it.
Yeah,
But it was also sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for people who've listened to the show since the beginning, I think they may have noticed kind of a change in opinion of some of us and the way we view things. And I think that just kind of shows the growth of us as people, and also just kind of the growth of the way, of how things are changing in the world. Like we're sort of a reflection of that in a way.
But Tarantino's able to walk that fine line where he can add.
He always has been, yeah.
Where he can add black comedy to the most vile situations.
I don't think that was black comedy. I don't. I think it was poor choices. Like, not maybe in having it, because you could have had that say. You could have shown that she was this bad. You could have shown that he was abusive to her by him raising her hand and her flinching or her not flinching. But I mean, you could have done the same thing. We've seen in 100 movies, from fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark to Star Wars to Roots, like a fucking, just a butt of a rifle, on somebody's back to keep them moving along. Is this, would you'd gain the same knowledge of his abuse and her captivity as like this fucking ridiculous scene where she's fucking, knocked out of the stagecoach in this 10 fucking foot of snow. Like violence against, like, I just don't. I love gore and I love fights and I love violence. But when it's like, when it crosses the line into like abuse, whether it's like even if it's to enhance the story, and I don't think this was. I think it was just I think it was just content. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, but like, it says a lot about the character of John Ruth, where whether who he has himself handcuffed to is irrelevant, whether be it male or female. It doesn't matter. He's going to treat them the same way.
I think you're projecting there because they never. You have no reason to know that.
True, but you got. I mean, he doesn't come off as some sort of as any kind of a woman beater per se, where that's all he ever does. It's just in this one situation.
Just beats the shit out of a woman. Right?
It's just this one situation, exactly.
Well, I mean, I think I kind of see MZ's point where, I mean, he is called the Hangman. His legend. Yeah. He probably was a dick to everyone that he's.
Yeah, and in a job like that, I guess you would have to be.
Doesn't make it right.
No.
Right. No, but it does make the job. It does make the job successful, and it does make it work, and therefore it makes the character work.
All right, just to cut in real quick.
I don't understand your on bounty hunting, like your bounty hunting knowledge.
Listen, I watched a lot of Dog the Bounty Hunter, and normally he would stop the stagecoach and go to Burger King and get a little meal first before he goes to prison and get hung, because Dog's a gentleman. And Beth.
All right, so we, just, as I mentioned earlier, we're fine on YouTube. Something clearly changed with YouTube from last week to this week, because obviously we couldn't get on YouTube last week because there was an issue, and then this week it looked like I had to. Normally what I do is I just hit broadcast in XSplit and we're fine, and it looks like I had to go into YouTube and actually say start stream. So it looks like, I don't know if that's different or if XSplit has needs to update something on their end, but regardless, I had to basically start it twice.
Stream to Decepticon.
So that's what the issue was. I apologize for the live folks. You folks on the podcast won't know any difference, but the live show was down for the first 20 or 30 minutes, but we're good now. We're streaming live on the website and on YouTube, and we have some people hanging out. And Mars, you had told them how to find the chat room last week, but
nice.
But we weren't on the chat room because we had streaming problems last week with YouTube. But it looks like we got Pabst hanging out.
Man, awesome. I would say Pabst and Jesse G are the only one of those kids I didn't fuck up somehow. I'm glad they turned out okay.
Creepy Girl's hanging out. She says, my favorite Tarantino film is Four Rooms. All right.
That's a great sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Pap says, I would put Hateful Eight toward the bottom along with Inglourious Bastards.
See, I love
I love
I
Inglourious Basterds.
loved
Yeah.
Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
That opening
Glorious
scene.
Bastards is probably my third favorite.
Oh my!
That opening scene with Christoph Waltz. Oh,
it's
my
it's
God,
amazing,
that is
yeah.
so
Yeah.
brilliantly done. I love it.
I'm aware that Aries will probably make fun of me for this, but like I am such a film fan that when I saw Inglourious Basterds in the theater and the scene where the theater is burning down and that David Bowie song's playing and the projection is still going,
Oh, it's amazing.
I cried. I felt like it was so beautiful. I'm gonna ignore it. I felt like,
Keep going, baby. Keep going.
I felt like it was so beautiful, like that. I just couldn't even believe that, like, I was experiencing it. So, like I think that like, I kind of put Kill Bill 1 and 2 together.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of one.
Yeah, but for me, it's Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Inglourious Basterds are my top three. If pressed, say part 1 of Kill Bill.
Chromecast Josh says I still haven't seen Hateful Eight. Well, check it out, man. I think you dig
definitely check it out.
Yeah, I dug it. And the Sam Jack's story was very outrageous. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. And Josh says the climax of Kill Bill Volume 1 is so cool.
Yes.
Creepy Girl says I liked Western Django better than Django Unchained.
There you go.
And we got
Little Franco Nero for your face.
Yeah. And we got Bradley hanging out. I don't know. I think Bradley may have been in chat. I don't remember, but either way, welcome to the chat room, Bradley. Thanks for hanging out live, man. And first time Mike says, evening, family. Hope all is well with you. And Humble Eddie says, the only way I can even remotely think of a way to hate Kurt Russell if he's routinely hitting a woman, and he needs to be one of the 8. So there you go.
Yeah. He was great in it.
He's great in everything.
Oh, yeah.
And
I can't name a bad movie he's done.
Humble Eddie has said Jackie Brown has become my favorite over time.
Yeah, I love Jackie Brown too. It's Bill by Forces too.
Yeah,
it's weird when you think about it. A lot of people, I talk to a lot of people at work who are also Tarantino
million people?
fans. Close to it. Although with the recent walkouts, I don't think it's going to reach that number anymore. But regardless, everyone I speak to who's a big film fan at work, and there are a few, and they all say Jackie Brown is their favorite Tarantino flick.
Wow.
Yeah, and which ironically, it's also their least violent. It's his least violent movie when you think about it. It's so well done. Pam Grier looks fucking fab-boo, as she always does. You know, Robert Forrester.
Keaton
is fucking awesome. Zeus is in it. You know.
Yes.
I mean, if I had to pick my top 3, gun to my head, if I had to pick my top 3 right now, it'd probably be Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and Jackie Brown, the early shit.
Wow, I don't know if I could pick a top 3. I guess I haven't really thought much about it. I just like all of his movies, so.
Yeah.
Oh, very safe answer there, Johnny.
Well, what's yours?
Let's go to commercial.
Well, Hateful Eight's my favorite right now.
No, I mean
it's the greatest movie of all time.
No, I mean it's cliche, but
it's a treat. It's number 1 on my list, Johnny.
Pulp
all right,
Fiction,
I'll
Dogs.
say. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll say Pulp Fiction. I might go Inglourious Basterds.
It's great.
That's a
and
great
then
flick. Yeah.
Maybe
I forgot
Kill
about that.
Bill.
Yeah, it's we got a lot in common there, John.
It's a while back. Mars and I were having the discussion on the show here about which is better, part 1 or part 2 of Kill Bill, and he would say 2, I would say 1, and
what I just said 1.
No, a long time ago.
You wouldn't.
No, a long time ago you said 2, because I remember we had the discussion, and I'm starting to feel that part 2 it might just be better than part 1.
It's
well,
great.
You can view them as one, though. I mean, that's
sure.
So
and it should
you don't
be,
have
really.
to pick.
And it should
You
be
know
really.
You know what's weird about it too is like as one piece, it doesn't work because it's so top heavy action wise. Like not just in actual action scenes, but like in shit that goes on. People ride on airplanes. They're motorcycles. Like the second one is a lot slower. Like in its pacing. Not that it's bad.
It's more grounded.
It's got that cool. And it's got that cool graveyard scene that's right out of like a Fulci film, and I do love it. I will say, know what's neat about Jackie Brown is that I feel like Jackie Brown is almost Tarantino's Kubrick film in the way where it's the only thing that he's done that's not from him. Like, because it's based on who's that? Elmore Leonard.
Yeah.
Which Kubrick was such a visionary. We forget that 90% of his films were from novels.
Yeah.
So
they were adapted from novels. Yeah.
Yeah. In almost every case unrecognizable, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, but obviously some people weren't exactly happy with the the interpretations of
Stephen
them.
King.
I wasn't gonna name names.
I mean, I didn't hear anybody complain about Full Metal Jacket being different, or
Oh, that was a book?
Yeah, it was called. I'll look it up. I mean, Spartacus notwithstanding, like he really didn't do a lot that wasn't like actually a book. If you go through his filmography, Lolita.
No,
Yeah, most of it. 2001, obviously, Clockwork Orange. So yeah, most of it was.
Yeah.
But he,
Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, but he adapted it in his way. He owned it. He took it and owned it. So that's why most people don't even realize that they're based off of novels because they're so Stanley Kubrick. You know, one I don't know is was Eyes Wide Shut. Was that based on a novel?
I believe so.
We can look that up.
Yeah.
Obviously, being Kubrick's last film that he managed to do. Yeah, so I think it might be. Yeah, I think it was a novel.
Interesting.
How novel.
Speaking of novels and screen adaptations, I don't want to get into it too much. I want to start to wrap up the intro, but I went to go see Annihilation the other day and quite enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys would be into it. It's definitely a bit of a slow burn sci-fi film, but it is really it's really pretty dense with subtext, if you will.
Monocle.
Bring your monocle.
Monocle.
You'll need it.
I think the Irish Deadites are taking Tiny for his birthday on which is me and Aries, I guess. So.
What?
Not taking Aries I've taken Tiny to go see it for his birthday, so maybe we'll go see Tomb Raider instead.
Oh, actually, I think I knew this actually, but I forgot. But Eyes Wide Shut was based on a 1926 novella entitled Traum Novelle, which means dream story.
Wow. So. Eyes Wide Shut, honestly, like you can't even mention it without me getting an erection.
Boy, am I glad you're over there.
That movie is. That movie is
erection wide shut.
So great. Yeah.
Really?
Penis eye wide shut.
Does Tom Cruise gear down?
Penis eye glued shut.
I don't think he gears down. Nicole Kidman does, yeah.
Oh man.
I don't find him attractive. I don't.
Angie.
So, all right, let's start to wrap this up real quick. First time Mike says The Cruel Lessons of Pai Mei is one of my favorite Tarantino sequences ever. Eddie says literally a perfect script. I think he's talking about Jackie Brown. Corny says mine are Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, and Kill Bill. That's 4, Corny.
Sorry.
And he says I would like to see the Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair at some point.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, and Humble Eddie says, yep, still waiting on that Blu-ray for it. Eddie also says The Short Timers was the name of the book Full Metal Jacket was based. And
right, thank you, Eddie.
Okay.
And he also said Traum Novelle, which is the Eyes Wide Shut one, so he got it before I did. And Evil Corny also threw in Kubrick also wrote AI, which he never obviously didn't get to direct. Spielberg did that, right?
I thought didn't he do half of it? I thought.
No, he wrote it.
He developed it, and I think they may have
Kubrick
started.
wrote it.
Yeah, they may have started to do some pre-production. Yeah,
he did the and I think he did the screenplay, but by that time he died.
I really enjoyed that
Spielberg
movie
took
until the fucking end, dude. And then it went.
That movie almost got me put in jail.
Yeah.
Like literally, like that movie made me so angry that I did vandalism. Like I was.
You did vandalism.
I did the vandalism.
Yeah. There's only twice in my life I've done the vandalism, and it's both in a movie theater.
Says the end on the screen, and he starts turning into the Hulk. He starts turning.
No, it says the fucking end on the screen, and then a fucking narrator voiceover happens. That doesn't happen in the whole fucking 4.5 hours that came before it.
It wasn't like a million years later. It wasn't even like 30 years from now. It was like some crazy amount of time, and it was stupid.
Oh, all right, we got to move on, dudes, because we got a movie to talk about. We got some other stuff going on. So, all right. So, if you guys want to help, actually, I guess we'll do intros real quick. Raven Chat. I know how you bent out of shape you get.
No, I get a little concerned because maybe everyone's show is someone's first show.
Did you see Black Panther yet?
I'm going to see it on.
So no,
on TV.
On TV when it's on TNT.
You see it on channel 56.
On the movie loft, the Sunday night movie.
Tonight we have a movie that made quite a historical impact when it came out in 2012.
The sequel's coming out next year.
By the way, Raven Shadow made over $1 billion so far.
That's good.
Yeah.
The lights will be on.
Oh, shit. Rocky says, by the way, Rocky's hanging out.
Nice, Rock.
And he says, brown eye wide shut. That might be a contender for the episode title.
Yeah. For the first timers out there.
So, yes, I'll introduce everyone, and then we'll wrap up this fucking elongated intro, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio, the Deadites, the Grand Guignol Network, and also one of the co-hosts of the Outside Corner Fantasy Baseball podcast and the Five Hossman Wrestling podcast. And we just put out a new episode over the weekend. So, episode 3 of the Five Hossman, we talk for 5 hours about wrestling. You were so amazed you had to grab the mic off the stand, MZ.
I'm afraid I had to.
Yeah, and we reviewed Evolve 100 and 101, and we talk about some New Japan, some wrestling from all over the world. So check it out wherever you get podcasts like this one. We also have the immortal gunslinger, singer and lyricist for the Deadites, and also one of my co-hosts on the Five Hossman Wrestling podcast, Donna Mars.
We did that show on daylight savings time, by the way.
Yeah, we finished up and we had just all of a sudden lost an hour.
Yeah, I somehow talked for 5 hours and went to bed 6 hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sucked.
It did suck. We also have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs, Fetus, and the upcoming Morbid Tales, one-time contributor for Horrorhound magazine, Monster Zero.
You know, the more I think about it, I like the idea of...
Oh, you're going to put a tariff on something?
No. And God bless the United States.
I like the idea of snake balls.
Yeah.
It's a delicacy.
When you got a snake's head, you got it by the balls. You know.
We also have the triumph riding, stage erecting, whiskey drinking, chief of security, and America's sweetheart, Ares, the god of war.
You know, since Raven Shadow...
Oh, he said so.
Yeah, I'm talking. Here we go. I'm into my second glass of whiskey, so...
Uh-oh.
Since Raven Shadow has all these titles, I'm trying to come up with more that I can have for myself.
Yeah, yeah.
To try to...
Out title?
Yeah,
You want-
to beat you.
No.
Essentially.
Oh,
You want a title shot?
And I think after these last few weeks, I think I've earned maybe Warrior of the Nor'easters.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Slayer of Nor'easters.
I like it.
The Blizzard
You know,
Slayer.
Aries, to be fair, most of Raven Shadow's titles came from things that he said, and you don't say very much.
But I do a lot.
It's true. He's more of a show don't tell.
Yeah. Good thing it's a radio show.
All right, I added that to the intro, Aries. You'll hear it next week. We also have the chain-smoking, hand-kissing, baby-shaking, lorazepam-loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for Castle Wolfenstein, the Pimper Promotions, the Italian rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor of the sexy speakeasy, and the Parisian brouhaha himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
That's right, Johnny. And don't forget, I'm not hurt this week from the snowstorm.
Oh, you're back better?
I took precautions.
Yeah.
I used the ramps.
I used somebody else to shovel this shit
I
out of
got
my
gas.
driveway.
Yes, I called my mom. She shoveled for me. It was nice. No, I did it. It was fun. My yard looks kind of like
fun.
It was fun. My yard looks kind of like a Hoth playset, the way it's set up. And Ollie and I, we set up a shovel, Pretended it was like a probe droid. It was fun. We had a good day.
And by we, you
Wow.
mean you.
Me? Well,
You
yeah.
and your dog.
Yeah, Oliver.
Yeah.
The dog wasn't pretending. The dog was just running around.
Yeah, well, he was in the house being warm. I was in my mind's eye. I was Han. He was Chewie.
In your brown eye white shut.
Yeah, no. Now we know where Rocky's at.
Real quick story. Today I took Ozzy, my dog, for a walk, and he loves like burrowing in snow and jumping in snow.
Yeah.
And he ran towards a snowbank, jumped into it, and expected to like walk up on top of it, and he just went like right in the middle of it,
Like, what the
and he
fuck?
like got stuck. Well, not stuck, but he was expecting to jump onto it and like walk on top of it, and he just went like
Fell through
indented. No, he jumped and like went and indented right in it, and it was like, what the hell? He was expecting to walk on it. He's fine. It was just kind of funny.
Do you have a coat for him? Got a winter coat for him?
Yeah, it's a Chewbacca fucking coat.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. I got Ollie some boots.
I got some boots too, but Ozzy does not like them.
Yeah, we have.
Does Ollie go like this when he tries to like wear
Oh,
them at
man,
first?
don't start putting shoes on dogs.
My
That's
mom
just
bought 'em.
that's just sheer entertainment. Putting booties on dogs and watching them walk.
No.
I'll just do it in the house just to laugh at it.
Yeah, put them in a sweater or a coat. Yeah, but shoes, no.
It was bought for him. I didn't.
Just so we're keeping score here. Dog boots bad. Women violence okay.
Oh my god!
So my moral compass is off. Leave me alone.
Because they don't fucking listen. That's the problem. Perfect.
Oh
Perfect.
my god. All right, so if you guys want to help support the show, head over to trickortreatradio.com. We got a few ways you can help support. On the right-hand side, you're going to see an Amazon logo. Click on it. It's going to bring you right to Amazon. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost you any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
That's right. So you guys shop on Amazon, go ahead and use our link. And also on there, if you guys want to go to the store, you can buy some digital content. We got some Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits, volumes 1 through 3. We got some old Deadites interviews and live shows on there. So if you guys want to check those out, go give them a look-see. And we get some T-shirts and stuff like that. And also we have our friends over at XSplit.
Make some noise.
Make some noise.
XSplit.
Although I think they're responsible for this. I got to get down to the bottom of this. I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's XSplit. Someone's responsible for this.
Somebody call it XSplit.
Someone's got to pay.
Where's Keck Split, by the way?
XSplit? I don't know.
I think he did.
And let me catch up in the chat room before we head to a break. And Creepy Girl says, almost St. Patty's. Need to drink some Jamie or Bush Mills or Tiller.
Oh.
I'll be right over and join you.
And Evil Corny says, Aries is a man of action.
Yes, he is.
Can't you tell?
And Cromcast Josh says, Aries is the pulp hero we need right now.
I mean, look at him. He's just look at the movement.
Not that I'm arguing with that statement, but I'm curious about that statement.
Yeah. It's sexy, right?
Humble Eddie says, does Raven Shadow get a title for every flick he didn't watch?
Listen.
No.
There would be a lot more titles.
Yeah. there would be a lot,
Be a
yeah.
5-hour show.
We'd still be talking about him right
Listen,
now.
I've watched a lot of movies in a long, good stretch.
Jeez.
like
Creepy Girl
them.
just wanted to add one to your list, Raven Shadow.
Oh, no.
The bright shirt wearing Jesus.
There you go.
No,
No.
That doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No. And first time Mike says, the more names Raven Shadow gets, the more powerful he becomes.
That's true. I'm like Hal Jordan getting all those rings.
You're like,
crazy. Yeah.
You're more like the guy standing outside trying to get enough names for elected official. You're outside Price Chop and be like, could you please sign this so I could be?
You trying to gain a constituency?
Yeah, my constituency. My Monica constituency. Constituency. What's that?
Constituents.
Constituents.
What was that?
What's with the lisp?
Constituents.
And booty's tough too.
Yeah. WNBC.
And it's hot too.
Yeah. Constituents.
All right, so Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Veronica on Netflix.
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare to watch this movie?
I get nervous, right? Because it's said to be the most scary fucking film of all time.
Yep.
Be scary.
Yeah.
Put the lights on, Johnny.
Bad move, man.
I had to because I might be scared.
What about Oliver?
He was scared too. He wanted to watch John Wick 2. See how the dog grew up.
John Wick as well, or John Wick the sequel?
John Wick the sequel.
Oh, okay.
He loves the first one. Except for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't like that
Yeah.
part. He likes when he whoops ass. Don't we talk about when you Oliver wanted to watch Chomps? Remember Chomps with Valerie Burton?
Yes.
Yeah, you
and
do,
Conrad
right?
Bain.
Yeah. So we didn't do that, but I'm scared. So like.
Loves myself some Chomps.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. You know
Why
what
is
I'm
there
talking
not
about.
a sequel for that?
Yeah, bring that back.
Yeah.
That's a reboot I want. But didn't get that. So I'm scared. I called my mom, had her on speakerphone in case I got really scared, And she hung up on me because she was done with me. And
She said, "Knock it off."
She said, "Knock it off. You're 41 years old. Who's there with you? It's my house, Mom. I can have girls over if I want." And then I strapped on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
This is Matt Kennedy of Astron 6. You might know me as Manborg. You might know me as Father John Sullivan in Father's Day. But what's important right now is that you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
I will be Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
I can tell you I'm never coming back on this show. Especially now that I did that thing that you just didn't do. Which I will be sending you an invoice for.
Hello, this is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and ParanormalPunchers.com.
Wouldn't it be beautiful to be really in the presence of a ghost or being from another plane?
And we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. And we are about to talk about Veronica. No, not the person. The movie.
And her name is Veronica.
That's how it goes. All right, Veronica. From 2018. Just hit Netflix here in America. And it is an hour and 45 minutes. It is a drama horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Paco Plaza and is written by Fernando Navarro and Paco Plaza. And it stars Sandra Escacina. You can't see me. You can't see Sandra. Bruna Gonzalez, Claudia Placer, Yvonne Chavero, Ana Torrent, Consuelo Trujillo. And where is... I was going to look for Sister Death, but I don't see her listed. She must be later on in the... Where's Sister Death?
Isn't Hermana Muerte? That's Sister Death.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. I was looking specifically for... yeah, okay, so that was Consuelo Trujillo was Sister Death. And the synopsis we have here is... Madrid, 1991. A teen girl finds herself besieged by an evil supernatural force after she played Ouija with two classmates. So, this flick here, and by the way, I had a couple of people ask about the tune that we're playing. That is Ghost by the Deadites. I thought it
which as of right now, we're not playing on the 30th.
Well, I mean, you can't play all the songs, so...
Yes, we can.
All right, I guess it's just us playing and no one else then. Be like a 5-hour set. So, yeah, so Eddie was saying digging the song, and first time Mike says I can pop and lock to this. So Veronica, yeah. So just real quick to talk about Paco Plaza. He had, as we mentioned earlier, directed Rec 1, 2, and 3. Rec 1 and 2 are quite good.
Yes.
Rec 2 is probably one of the better sequels out there, I got to say.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't think I liked it as much.
I like
Part 3 was fun though.
No, I'm not saying it's as good as 1, but it's a very adequate sequel.
I think it's better.
Yeah, some people do say that they think it's better. So, and since then he hasn't done anything that I've seen. That doesn't mean he's been busy. He's keeping busy, but let's see. Rec 3 was in 2012, and then he just did some shorts and some TV stuff, and then Veronica was his next feature after Rec 3. So it's been 5 years since his last feature. But I think this one's going to get him a little bit more attention. I think he'll probably be a little bit in demand after this flick. So with Veronica, it had sort of come to our attention. I don't remember who it was, so I apologize. But somebody on the Trick or Treat Radio group had posted a link to an article about Veronica, stating that it's one of the scariest movies ever made. Now, obviously, that gets thrown around a lot. Yeah. It seems like every year or two, every year, there's like one or two films that people claim as the scariest movie ever made.
Yeah. And that also gets our attention because if they're going to boast something like that, we're going to see for ourselves.
That's probably why they boast it.
Well, not anymore though. Like, I mean, think about it. The fucking someone Bloody Disgusting maybe called the Blair Witch remake the scariest movie in 25 years or something like that in the trailer. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
So but this
take
one
it with a grain of salt and see it for ourselves.
With this one here, so I thought that this was I guess we'll talk about whether or not we thought it was scary as we get into it. No, I don't want to jump into that right now. But so the movie starts out. It would pretty much get right into the thick of things. It actually it brings you to the end of the movie at the beginning, which I thought was an interesting tactic, and I liked it because it was one of those things that it teases the ending. Some serious shit is going to go down, but you don't know what happens. You don't know how you get there. So it's almost kind of like setting you up where, okay, well, some crazy shit's going to happen. And, especially with the reveal of like the detective who sees whatever's going on and he looks horrified, So it kind of sets it up pretty cool. And I actually kind of dug that. So from there, we sort of go to 3 days prior. So we see the end, sort of like they tease the ending a little bit, and then we go 3 days prior, and we see Veronica, the titular character, and at first you don't know, like she looks really young, right? She's got braces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She clearly looks like she's pretty young, and it turns out that she is, I think, 15 in the movie.
15 or 16.
15 or 16, yeah. And so she's basically getting her siblings ready. There's 3 siblings. There's 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. And she's getting them like breakfast and like taking care of them. One of them peed the bed. She has to go like wash them up, help them get ready. So she's basically like, at first I was like, she's awful young to be a mom of 3.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's just the older sister who
Yeah.
takes care of the family while the mom's
Exactly. And
working her ass off at a bar or a restaurant.
bar, yeah. And
not for nothing, this is the part I found scary.
And as we find out, the father, or she had lost her husband, and their father. So he had died, and clearly you can tell by the setup of this that Veronica she's very grown up. Like all of a sudden, like she's basically a mother. Like that's kind of, she has the responsibility of a mother, and she has to go to work, and goes to school and all this stuff. So basically, she's not able to be a child, really, And her mom just works late. She sleeps in late, so that's why Veronica has to take care of it. So like, I thought they did a good job of kind of like showing how much responsibility she has, and she's not really able to be a 15-year-old, a teenager, because of that. And I think her friends later on kind of tease it. Oh, well, don't you have to go home and take care of your siblings? And
right.
She doesn't really get to do anything, so it kind of sucks. Not able to be a good teenager when you can't fucking do anything.
Well, that's a good thing of that is she doesn't get pregnant.
Oh,
So
well,
at least
and there's a silver lining. Great.
Yeah. you know where she is.
Jesus Christ.
It's a good tactic.
So she goes to school. She brings all the siblings to school, gets them in, and then she goes to class as well. And in class, one of her friends was like throwing a note at her, and I think the note said, "Did you bring it?" or something like that. "Do you have it?" And then she points down to her bag. So clearly she brought something with her. And there's also a solar eclipse that's happening on this specific day, and all the kids were told to bring in negatives, like photograph negatives,
because this does take place in 1991.
91, yeah.
Is there a reason for that, you think?
What do you mean?
It's based on true events.
It's based on a true story.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, not true story. True events.
But so I thought that was like so this does take place in 91, and I really liked. I think the attention to detail was good, because I felt like it was 91. Like there wasn't a whole lot of indicators except for like the phones and the lack of cell phones and stuff. So there wasn't like a lot of like 90s specific stuff, but I thought they did a good job of kind of setting it in that time, and I didn't really question what time it was. It seemed like it was appropriate. So during all the kids are gonna go get to see the eclipse, so everyone goes up on the rooftop, which I thought was a really fucking cool scene, with like all these kids like all spaced out on the rooftop. They all have the like negatives that they're holding up to their eyes, and we see as the eclipse starts. And at this time, we have Veronica and her 2 friends. They go down to the basement of the school. Don't know why you go down to the basement of the school, but they go down there, and I think they did it on purpose because of the. I mean, my thinking was that they knew that they were doing this during the eclipse.
Yeah, the whole school's out, all the teachers.
Yeah.
It's obviously a Catholic school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's a level of probably naughtiness in doing it. The whole class is distracted. They can go down there and kind of do their incantations.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, they do. They have a spirit board or a Ouija board, whatever you want to call it, and the planchette that they have is really just a cup, like a glass.
Yeah,
it's like what Aries would drink whiskey out of.
I was thinking that.
So I thought that was interesting. I don't know if that's. Have you guys ever seen
yes
them use? Okay, I've never seen that. So.
Yeah, it was done in Amityville 3D.
Ah, okay. I haven't seen that
with
Jesus
Meg
Christ.
Ryan.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, they use a glass and just strips of paper to write letters on, and made their own makeshift Ouija board.
And wasn't there was some tie-in, some mystical tie-in with the power of the eclipse can accentuate witchcraft.
Accentuate witchcraft.
Yeah, hocus pocus.
It's a total eclipse of the devil heart.
Yes. And just throwing it out there, I mean, I know we've said it before. I still have a hard time with evil being summoned with a Parker Brothers logo on something.
Well, I don't know if they had a Parker Brothers logo on it.
This one wasn't even that cool. When they got one later, they got it off a fucking newsstand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters really. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can. I think it's not necessarily the device you use. It's the intent behind it. I think that's kind of what the deal is.
All right, but still, you think the liability,
like he was saying in the Amityville 3D, they use like strips of paper and Aries whiskey glass.
It's a rocks glass.
It's an Aries.
It's just been renamed the Aries whiskey glass.
Yeah.
On the rocks is fine.
Yes, I'd like to have some Jim Beam. Yes, can you put that in an Aries whiskey glass, please? On the rocks, yes.
On the
thank
rocks.
you.
With a big giant Death Star ice cube.
Well, I brought my new tumbler, and I brought two of my ice balls. In
Keeps whiskey cold.
It does. It's so amazing.
Is that a Yeti?
No, I'm not spending that kind of money on a
Are
tumbler.
are they Death Star ice balls?
They're not Death Star, but they are spherical.
You can pretend.
Because when you grab an ice snake by the head, you got it by the ice balls.
So they're doing this whole thing, and the other two don't seem like they're really too into it. But there's the friend of a friend. She lost her boyfriend, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then of course we have Veronica who lost her father, and they said something about like you need even odd numbers in order for it to work right or something like that. So while they're doing this, and all of a sudden nothing's really happening, and then all of a sudden the glass planchette moves, and the other girls like take their hands off. They're like kind of freaked out, and Veronica's just doing it, and she's doing it and talking to a spirit. And then shit starts to go a little haywire during the eclipse, and then all of a sudden we see Veronica is just kind of like frozen, right? Like, or was she? It wasn't
trance-like?
Yeah, kind of trance-like. Yeah, she kind of froze up a little later, but so that was. I thought that was MZ.
I was just gonna say with a really freaky look.
Yeah.
On her face, where it looked like her mouth was enlarged a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and it just looked really, really unsettling.
Right.
Yeah, it was a really, I thought it was a pretty cool scene the way they did it down in the basement like that, and then during this the planchette glass just fucking smashes, and like glass everywhere, and Veronica gets cut. And as she's holding her finger up, looking at it, like it drips down onto the Ouija board, and then the Ouija board breaks. They get all flipped out, and then she grabs it, puts it in her bag, and then they go try to get back to class before all the other kids are back. So that's kind of the setup of what goes on here. And later on, obviously, there'll be some apparitions or ghost shenanigans going on, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
So, and obviously she takes care of her siblings, so when shit goes down, it's her protecting her three siblings, and mom's nowhere to be found, really. So kind of that's the basic setup right there. And then we also have the character of Sister Death, who I thought
she's great.
Was great, yeah. And it, kind of like a typical character that you would see in this kind of movie, but I thought that it was just kind of like added a nice little creep factor to it,
Yeah, and the fact that she was blind,
yeah,
kind of added to that creepiness, because she was, the character was wearing these lenses to make her
like
give
cataracts.
Like her cataracts are shot to hell. And
she looked like the character who was only in the film for a second, who they marketed the movie The Vatican Tapes around. If you look up any of the promotion,
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I hadn't mentioned, but this movie is Spanish speaking film, so we had subtitles. Sorry, Aries.
Trick.
You can't really, when you watch a film with subtitles, you can't. If you look at your phone, you're fucked. You can't listen, right?
I know. Don't fucking tell me.
Don't tell me. So, and then we start seeing some weird shit go down. Like, first of all, the Ouija board in the bag keeps falling off the top of her like her closet.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What the fuck?" And then she puts it in her closet, and then I think it ends up on the floor the next day. She starts having these visions, or she's seeing things. She thinks she sees her dad, and then her younger brother is in the tub, and all of a sudden, like, the water is like fucking piping hot, and he's screaming because he's burning.
Yeah.
That was fucking weird.
That was bad.
Yeah, so there's all these things going on, and there's one scene I want to call out is there's like a Simon in the room, and it's flashing lights, and there was a scene with the shadow, and you could only see it move during the red light, which I thought was really fucking cool. You see it kind of moving on the wall. And then when it turns, it goes from like red to blue, and when it's blue, you don't see it, and all of a sudden it's red and it appears again.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
Yeah, I thought some of that
nice.
was really cool, and I thought it looked great. I thought the shadow stuff on the wall looked really cool. So, all right, well, you guys toss in here. I did enough talking. What did you guys think of the flick here?
One thing that I was impressed with for sure, and one thing that in all this hyperbole about how scary the film was you didn't get was just how good looking of a movie this was.
Yeah, no, it looked great. The only issue I had, and it's not really an issue, but there's a couple scenes when she was in bed that looked more digital than other ones. I don't understand like why. Maybe it was because of the lighting, but there was like one scene where I could tell it was digitally shot, where the rest of it didn't really have that. But I don't know, it's just a nitpick. It didn't really bother me per se, but otherwise this film looked great. Like, I love some of the camera stuff they did, like having cameras on the car doors when the police open the door, and like having kind of like a camera in front of her face following her at some points. There was just some really cool camera work.
Yeah, there was some cool camera. There was this one scene where, and it was deep into the film, where I don't know. Maybe you guys can clarify this for me. Where, like I said, it's deep into the film.
Snakes do not, in fact, have balls.
But they have huge cocks.
They're all cock.
Nature's
I just
slimy
clarified that for you.
Thank you. I've learned something today. There was one scene that was where she was in bed, and it looked like the way it was framed, like the bed was sitting up on the wall, because you never really see her get up.
Oh yeah.
You know,
that was awesome.
That was a nice little piece of work right there.
That reminded me of Argento for some reason. I can't put a finger on why, but like I felt like there was just like a.
It did have a very giallo feel to it, and it was done really, really well. I mean, much better than I think giallo could have pulled it off. You know, I think with certain editing it would have worked fine, but in this situation, in this movie, I think it worked flawlessly, and it threw me for a loop. And I'm like, wait, what just happened?
It's a tough road for it to take, but I wish that this film did not necessarily giallo-y, but just kind of like that dreamlike Fulci Argento attitude, like of that sort of like dreamlike world. Because I almost wish. It was like normally like it's a tough sell for me when something does too much of that, and that's what the movie is. But like some of the imagery in this that was just kind of almost for imagery's sake was like beautiful. I think like the scene where the nuns and the children were on top of the building and the birds were flying.
Yeah.
In a kind of slightly wrong angle. Like I just felt like that was terrific. The things that I didn't like about it, and I want to get you guys' take, is that I am a little bit sick of 2018 of trying to use women's basic biological happenstance as like horror, scary tropes. like I'm kind of at the point now where like I feel like it's a bunch of 14-year-old boys making movies that feel like women's periods are scary.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I don't want to spoil it, but I will say, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. I was a little disappointed in how, for a film that I felt, while not everything worked, was pretty like confident in what it was. Like I do feel like there was like in both a twist, we'll say, and a convention of how it was revealed, a very cliche film convention and how it was set up. Like where you went back and resaw everything from like a different point of view.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Like I felt that was a little
to me, and yeah, like it is a little. I mean, people who haven't seen it won't know what we're talking about, so it's not super spoilery. But I kind of thought that all along in a way.
Okay.
Especially when she turned over the beds.
Mm-hmm. See, I like that scene.
Yeah, that scene was cool. Like
I like that a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of great stuff in this. Like I definitely will say like I love the scene when they're with the eclipse. Like I just thought it looked so cool, and to have that sort of like juxtaposed with what they're doing in the basement. I just thought that was really filmed really well. I loved a lot of the camera work, and also we haven't mentioned yet, but the performance by the lead here, Sandra Escacina, was amazing.
She's good.
She's like 15 or 16, like legit. She's like, I think she's 16 years old, and she portrayed this character amazingly. And there were, whenever you have a film like this where you're being sort of like, I don't want to give too much away, but she has to kind of play kind of some different sides, I guess, or different emotions and range. Yeah, there's a lot of range. And so with that, like, it's always kind of challenging to, I would imagine, for any actor, let alone like a young actor, to be able to pull that off. And I thought she pulled it off flawlessly. And I was really captivated with her. And even though I couldn't obviously I don't understand Spanish, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. Obviously I can read the subtitles, but I could almost ascertain just by hearing her words what she was feeling,
The inflection, just the way.
Yeah, and I think that's real solid, and so I thought she was amazing in this.
What I liked about it, and this might sound weird, but from a scary point of view, especially from when I was a child, I've lived in houses and lived in apartments over the years, and I always had a very active imagination as a kid. I would feel if my mind was, going crazy, if I was a movie scared me or had, nightmares. Being in an apartment always made me feel safer because I figured, okay, well, Jason Voorhees can't get me because he has to get through the first floor before he gets to me, kind of thing. There was always like, it was a rationalization. You know what I mean? Like if you were in a house,
it makes sense when you think about it.
Not for nothing, but Jason Voorhees got to New York on a fucking boat from a landlocked lake. Like, you don't think you could get up the fucking stairs?
Well, I was 7 and I hadn't come out yet.
Fair.
But being in a house, like, oh, there's only just me and my parents. Monsters can get us. But being in an apartment, I would have felt safer. This movie being like a ghost story, possession in an apartment, kind of ramped up the tension a little bit for me. Because, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to say?
It's weird now that you mention that. Because now I'm rattling it through my brain, and I'm trying to think of any victims in a horror film that died that lived in an apartment. And I can't think of one.
Right?
Oh, there's definitely some, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but I can't think of any right now.
But usually, like the strangers aren't going to come to, room B13 in the high rise.
What was it? I think it was Annabelle. I wasn't crazy about it, but that
was the one we went and saw. Took place
in
Annabelle.
an apartment, yeah.
But then you wonder what the impact on the neighbors are going to be, that kind of stuff. And we saw a little of that.
Yeah, with the downstairs neighbor.
Yeah,
complaining.
Yeah, she said that there was some black like gook or something like that coming out of the ceiling, and that was before she turned over the mattresses, which was nice little foreshadowing. But I thought that was a really cool scene when she did turn them over. Real quick in the chat room here, we have Humble Eddie says the scariest moment in the movie for me is when we first see the creature in the background through the open door down the hall. They don't rely on cheap jump scares with the sound mix, but let you find the monster by yourself, which I thought worked well. And yeah, I agree. I like that. There was that because you could see it in a reflection, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. And if you didn't look hard enough, you would have totally missed it. You know,
I almost missed it actually. The first time it came out, I almost missed it.
There was quite a few little subtle things happening in the background that if you weren't paying attention to that particular moment at that particular time, you missed them.
Yep.
Yeah. It almost makes me want to go back and watch it again and just stare at the background
see if you see anything.
to see what else I missed.
Yeah.
In that way, as far as if it has a modern counterpart, it reminded me of the first Insidious, because it did that a few times where there were things like that later on, like months after it was out, went viral because people started seeing shit on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever that they just missed.
It was that tiptoe through the tulip scene.
That
song was playing. That was like one of the big ones that kind of went viral after.
And there was another scene where like a woman is like folding laundry. And like she just walks by and that tiptoe through the. I'm getting scared thinking about it. I have to stop. Like that movie actually scared me.
That was I like stuff like that a lot. So I like the addition of that to the flick here. So where else we want to go here? There was a lot of like really cool stuff in this. A lot of times, like I thought they were really smart about how they use the creature, I guess, if you will, the monster.
Shadow Man,
yeah, because and not the Valiant.
Thank you, John. Not Jack Boniface.
No, not that one. But I think it was really, really well done, and like I said, I love the stuff that they did when you could see the shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
It just was really well done.
It was like a weird layout. I was trying to figure out the layout of the apartment too.
I wasn't thrilled with that. That was weird. That you could look across.
You could see across, right?
So one thing, and Mars, you and I have talked about this a couple times. I can recall is sort of that spatial awareness in a building or in a house or an apartment. And I thought they did a pretty good job. There was some because when a movie takes place like in an apartment or one location as much as this movie does, you kind of need to get the lay of the land so you have an understanding of like the floor plan or where stuff leads, because it really does help your awareness when you kind of know where to look, so you can see those scary things of like things in the background. I just think it really helps a lot. Now, there are some films that purposely don't give you the layout to make it more confusing, which I totally get. But I recall this being one of the like really awesome conversations we had with Michael Neal about film years ago when we were talking about, was it Hellraiser, right?
Right.
Yeah, and we were talking about how they do a great job of was it a great job? I'm trying to remember where they did a great job.
They did something similar in here where they, after they had established kind of the length of things, they kind of through editing and the way they paced it, like pulled the carpet out from under you of actually where you were versus where maybe you thought you were, to kind of get almost like a proto jump scare. And I think that I think that what Raven Shadow's talking about was almost intentional, because I feel like they wanted you to eventually feel like it was almost like comic book panels that like shit happened in between when she got from here to there. So you necessarily didn't get a good idea of where she actually was, because like it's tough to talk. You didn't get a good idea of actually where she was because she was kind of not always driving, like, so she'd kind of be like, I'm here now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that it was kind of intentional to keep us off guard, to kind of support the thesis of the ending.
And there was one shot too that reminded me, like the way they framed the building. Did it look kind of cross-like?
That building looked angry.
like an angry cross. Like I'm a mad cross.
There was, yes. So when you're talking about when they were down, looking up at the building from the ground, is that what you mean?
I think so. There was some
Yeah.
scene that looked almost like it was
Yeah. So it was
like Titan's Tower, but more cross-like.
yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I did happen to notice that as well. So there was definitely was some imagery going on, religious imagery, and that I think was definitely one of them.
What the
What was that?
I think Dynamo got a boner.
Boing. What the fuck is that?
Eyes wide shut.
Put it on pause, dude.
Yeah.
We're done in 2 hours.
Wow.
Pants wide open.
Legs wide open.
Woo.
Pubes.
I don't even remember what we're talking about now. Jesus Christ.
Pube buster.
Oh, this isn't giving too much away, but she was having this one, sort of like a dream, I guess, fever dream maybe, where she was being devoured by her siblings.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Yeah.
And that's quite surprising because, I mean, that doesn't happen too often where they allow.
Where you get devoured by your siblings?
No,
One time that happened.
No, what I mean when they allow children to
Eat people.
be cannibals, and you don't see that too often, if ever at all.
What was the movie? They didn't really eat people.
Oh, for Christ's sake! But no, I mean just out of the safety of the child actor, it doesn't happen too often. So that kind of shocked the hell out of me when I saw that.
Because they were clearly eating her. There was no.
Oh yeah, there was blood in their mouth and there was flesh coming, falling from their mouth and everything like that. I mean, it was legit.
What about zombie movies though? There's zombie kids.
Oh no, I believe that. No, I mean I understand that, and I knew you were going to go there, or someone was going to go there, and it's like, the one movie that I could think of that does that would be, what the hell's the name of it? Nightmare City. Oh wait, no, not Nightmare City.
I know what you're thinking of. Nightmare City's the Spanish one where the zombies all wear turtlenecks.
Yeah.
Beatnik zombies.
Shit.
Zombie Nightmare. The one that.
Oh wait, maybe it is. No, it is Nightmare City. I am thinking of Nightmare City. No,
I think it's Hell of the Living Dead.
Oh, it is Hell of the Living Dead. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. And so I mean that's the last kid eating a person that I can remember. But it, like I said, it doesn't happen too often. So it really kind of surprised me, and it was really vicious too, and really quite bloody. You don't see that too often. And what about now? There was something else because I was looking into it, and I know you guys are big music fans. So do you guys know anything about this band called the Heroes of Silence?
They seem to be a thing. Like I don't know if they were like a local band or.
No, I looked them up, and they are a legit band back in the day.
Because she had the T-shirt, right?
Yeah. She has the T-shirt, she has the posters, and I was just looking into it, and I don't know much about their music. I don't know anything about their music, but I was wondering if you guys looked it up.
I didn't look it up. The name sounded familiar to me, but I that's about it though. So
Maybe
I don't know.
they did the soundtrack.
Now, also, I felt that I know I'm jumping around here, but I felt that the scares here ranged. They were pretty uneven. They ranged from mediocre to quite impressive. I don't know why it was like that with me. I just felt that like some of the not so much the jump scares, but when the Shadow Man. He's creeping up along the walls, or he's bringing his hand up onto a bed sheet where the little girl where one of her sisters was sleeping. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt that's old hat. That's really nothing new. We've seen this before.
Yeah, that's
and there are other areas where I felt like some of the scares that don't involve the Shadow Man, I think, were quite effective.
Okay, you used the word impressive. Can I have an example of an impressive scare in this movie?
Answer the question.
A good cop, bad cop here.
No, because I honestly I would not say anything was impressive as far as the scare in this movie. So I want to know what.
I think the
you're
shadow.
saying.
I think the shadow. I mean, the shadow didn't scare me, but I thought that was an impressive looking scene. I did like what Humble Eddie pointed out was those where you just kind of see the, a monster in the shadow. Like that was well done.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I like the scene how they didn't like change the lighting at all when she was being like restrained by the neck at one point in the night. I thought that was pretty scary, and I thought that the scene in a visceral way that we just spoke about was pretty scary. I know you didn't ask me to say what was
I'm not saying this movie wasn't scary, but there's nothing I would say. Well, that's impressive.
No, there was one when we talked about it earlier. I talked about it earlier where at the beginning where they're having the seance and they're working with the Ouija board, and the glass breaks and everything like that, and all hell breaks loose, and then all of a sudden she starts screaming. And Veronica just starts screaming and screaming with this really elongated look on her face that looks like it could have been CGI, but then again, at the same time, looks possibly realistic enough where it could be real. Things like that. That impressed me. That was an impressive scare because it's that kind of face distortion where it looks like it could be real, but at the same time looks like it could have been CGI'd by just a hair.
Enhanced.
Yeah.
Enhanced by Earth's Sun?
Yes.
So in the chat room real quick, let me catch up. And Cecil says Crawl Space does apartments well, slasher-wise.
Yeah.
With Klaus Kinski?
Yeah.
Kinski,
Yeah. First time Mike says with Klaus Kinski.
Know what I thought was scary that I've been thinking about all day? How the detective finds her.
Yeah. So when you... That was the sort of the setup at the beginning, and then when we get that payoff, it's pretty creepy.
And I love that scene too. Once again, when he opens that door and they mention, "Oh, there's kids in there." Like, what the fuck? And they show like it was good.
Evil Corny says it scared me when it grabbed her little sister in the bed. So there's that scene that someone had mentioned just a few minutes ago. And we have Leanna hanging out.
Nice.
Haven't seen Leanna in a bit.
Hey. Welcome back.
She says, "Hi, guys. What's the general opinion on this movie so far?" I think she might be asking the chat room.
Hello.
And Leanna says, "I think the book I'm reading is scarier than any movie. It's about the Radium Girls." I am not familiar. All right.
What are they into?
I don't know.
I suspect radium.
First time Mike says, "Yeah, the scene in the van with Dad holding him."
What?
Was that in this movie, or is that something else?
Did you watch the other Veronica?
Maybe.
Veronica Mars.
Oh, okay. And Leanna says, "You guys are all wearing blue tonight. Depressed?" Am I wearing blue?
No, we are.
I'm not wearing blue.
I'm wearing blue.
You are. Yeah. You too. Two of you guys are.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Jason meets Abbott and Costello t-shirt, which is black.
Nice.
All right. Creepy Girl says, "Yeah, for me, not shockingly scary like they claim, but I've seen a lot of movies. But I didn't feel like anything in it would make you turn it off, even if you were a novice. Maybe the fact that they said it was based on actual events.
That always helps."
So, yeah, I guess we can hop into that a little bit. I mean, unless we're starting to wind down here. But so, this movie claimed, or I'm not saying the movie claimed, some people claim that this is one of the scariest movies or the scariest movie. I thought it was better than a lot of other movies in terms of like scares, but I'm so desensitized. Nothing scares me, unfortunately. Like, I really wish that something could scare me in a movie. So for me, I'm not a good barometer for it, I don't think. But there was some creepy stuff in this, and there was some really cool looking stuff. So I could absolutely see how somebody, like, let's say they if they dine on like Netflix, if that's their normal sort of like what they consume, I could see this being a little bit scarier than some other stuff on there,
Yeah, hearing people say that this is the scariest movie of all time, that's geared towards the casual film watcher, the casual horror film watcher,
and that could be what they were going for there.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably the scariest film I saw that day. I watched.
I will
You
say
should put
yeah,
that on
is
a box
true.
art.
I will say that that's true. This was the scariest film I saw that day.
I think I watched an episode of CW's Flash and Black Lightning, and then I watched this, and it was scarier than both of those. So fair.
Scariest film I've seen today. ...
That's a fair assessment, right?
No.
It's certainly not wrong.
Not Steel Balls, Wolfenstein over here. Nothing scary.
Yeah, right.
Steel ball.
Hal Jordan up in this motherfucker.
Leanna says, Mars, that sounds like an awesome shirt. Is there one with Freddie, Michael, and Leatherface?
I don't know. I got this at Monster Mania many moons ago.
Creepy Girl says, that scene in Deborah Logan, that scared me. Well, creeped me out.
Oh, I know what you're seeing.
I've never seen that. Never seen
That movie's whack.
Yeah,
That's another completely fucking overrated.
It's overrated, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that movie's whack.
I liked it. But I know the scene that she's talking about. It is pretty crazy.
But I thought overall this was better than anticipated. There was just something that was a little creepier and a little different about this than a lot of other just sort of run-of-the-mill horror films, And I will say I liked it better than a lot of the like James Wan and his Spawn films, like The Conjuring and Annabelle and all those. Like I liked
Silence.
Yeah, well, yeah, just I like this better than any of those personally.
Yeah, so did I.
So I just thought there was a little bit more artist. I'm not saying James Wan is a good director. I'm not saying he's not, but I thought there was a lot of artistry in this, and there was just a lot of just the dread. I think the overall dread was really well done throughout, and I just felt I connected with this character better than I do in a lot of those, in the Blumhouse films, I guess. So no, I for the most part, I liked a lot about this, and enjoyed the scares and thought it was pretty good. I also like the score. I thought the score was real good.
Score was very good.
And great sound mixing as well. I thought the audio on this was quite good. I typically watch, when I watch films late at night, I typically watch with headphones just so I don't have to crank it up, because I don't have a nice stereo system, which I know is probably like blasphemy, but I just have the TV, and a lot of times you can miss a lot of the nuance when you're watching. So so I like to typically watch with headphones, and that way I get to kind of hear everything that's going on too. So for me, I don't know if you guys were able to get that, but I thought the sound mixing was quite good in this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it was good. All right, do you guys have anything else to add before we go to verdict? Anything we haven't talked about yet that you want to get out in the open?
Anyone notice the cameo by Raven Shadow towards the end?
I kind of thought that too. Yeah, it wasn't lost on me.
Oh man, and Paps says haven't watched Veronica yet, but definitely will be this weekend. Cecil says I thought there were pacing problems, and Creepy Girl says I definitely liked Veronica, just didn't think it was so horrifying. Just a good solid horror film.
Yeah.
And I think it was Cecil that was saying he preferred Under the Shadow to this. He said surprised nobody has seen Under the Shadow. Yeah, we actually reviewed that early last year, I believe, or maybe the year before, but. We did discuss Under the Shadow. I like this.
I wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah, I like this better. I thought there was some cool stuff in Under the Shadow, but overall, I enjoyed this more. And Leanna says, thus far, I've been looking forward to watching this one, The Ritual, A Quiet Place, and Hereditary. So, yeah, Cecil, I'll try to find the number of the episode for you in case you want to go back. He said he needs to go back and listen to that episode. And Leanna says, I've seen Under the Shadow and loved it. All right, so let's head to a verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. Let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with MZ.
Oh, hey. Yeah, you know what? I agree with pretty much everyone that's talking on our chat room, and this is a decent, solid little horror film. Just not the scariest horror film I've ever seen. I think being desensitized, like Wolfie said, plays a big part in it. Regardless, I thought there were a couple of pretty decent scares in here that got my skin crawling. They were executed very, very well, and once again, great performances all around, especially by Sandro Escacina.
Wow. Jesus.
No, she was great. She was fantastic in this movie. I
agree. I thought she was great.
Yeah, she practically carried the whole movie on her back. You know,
did.
And for a 16-year-old to do that, fuck, man, that's skills. You know, especially if you're gonna be pulling off horror shit, man. I think she did quite well. This is a treat. I did enjoy it, and I think I'm gonna watch it again because I really like this. This is a treat. Yeah.
All right, Aries.
I was expecting a little more out of this movie just by hearing the scariest movie ever. I wasn't expecting that going into it because you hear that, every other week. Right. But I was just expecting a little bit more out of it. There was a decent mix of jump scares and subtle, going on background stuff, little in your face. Just it was a good solid mix of different types of scares going on. But it wasn't. It in no way should it hold the title of scariest movie ever in any circumstance. It's a good watch. Pay attention to the background as you watch it. There are little subtle things going on. Very easy to miss, but overall a treat.
Raven Shadow.
Yeah, it was fine, man. It was fine.
That's what it says on the box.
Yeah. It was fine. It was fine, man.
It was fine, dude. Whatever. You'll do worse on Netflix. There's worse shit on there. I did like. What I liked most about it was it kept my interest, and I wanted to see where it was going. When I had that one, like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And it was, for us, it's a foreign film, so they get all kinds of crazy over there. I don't know what's gonna happen. Kids are eating a sister. What's the punchline? And I'm a sucker for ghost possession movies, whatever the fuck, and naked ghost dads, panasas in the closet.
Naked ghost dad.
Yeah, that was weird.
Is that Bill Cosby?
That's a pretty scary movie. Wake up, Theo!
Yeah.
Now let me put this stuff in your drink, Rudy.
Yeah. Boo! A bibbity bibbity boo!
You tell the Vanessa and you tell the Claire and the Vanessa, and then I go blah.
Theo, who made you use that spirit board?
Tell me what you want me to do now, Theo.
Jamming on the one.
It's great. He lets us eat our sister.
Wow, brings a whole new meaning to the Cosby Show.
It took a turn.
Cosby Family.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'd ever need to watch this again, but check it out.
You never watch movies once, let alone twice.
I watched this once.
Jesus. You don't need to watch it again.
Then what am I going to do? I know what happens. Well, I think I know. Maybe it's a mystery.
Nelvin.
Yeah, no, it's a treat. Check it out. It's on Netflix. You're fucking paying for it anyway.
All right, Marsman.
I really like this. It's a treat, and I gave it a B+ in my rating.
I don't give a fuck what you gave it.
Whoa!
Oh, dude. Pull it back a bit, will you?
I just want to know trick or treat. That's all I care about.
Yeah, since when do we give letter ratings?
Never.
I said I gave it in real life. I just wanted to quantify.
How many stars do you give it?
Yeah, how many stars?
So thumbs up, thumbs down? What?
Yeah. Mojo
I want to give you a Coda Bushi suplex.
Is it yay? Nay? Yay? Nay?
Is it rent it or forget it?
Mr. fucking Animal Anatomy.
Yes.
Oh, here goes Johnny.
Did okay? So you said everything you need to say, Mars?
I said.
No, I know you did, but I wasn't sure you're done. We interrupted you.
No, well, yeah, I said extra, and you yelled at me, so I'm explaining.
Wasn't sure if you wanted to give it a, like a 1 to 10 star, maybe.
Whatever, eat your brownie.
All right, and for me, definitely a treat as well on this. I really enjoyed the film, and while it
I don't care what you enjoy.
Yeah, shut up.
while it tread a lot of familiar territory, this never felt stale. And the performance from Sandra Escacina was quite good. The direction, camera work was all top notch. Plenty of good scares, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing, and some interesting ideas.
Yeah, because why would you be into scares when you're watching a horror movie, right?
And I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff, especially like I said, the shadow play, if you will. And I thought it looked really cool. I think this is much better than average. If I were to grade it, no, fuck that. I'm not grading it. But no, it's a treat. I dug this, and it's on Netflix. You got no excuse. Most of you probably have Netflix, so just fucking watch it. Paco Plaza coming out of the booth.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that's going to wrap up our discussion of Veronica. Treats all around. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out on Netflix in America. I don't know if it's on Netflix in other countries, but you can just, give it a look and see if it is.
Should be in Spain, right?
Well, not necessarily. Could have hit theaters.
No.
It's different. Like, for instance, that movie Annihilation that just came out in theaters here, it's on Netflix pretty much everywhere else around the world, except for America. They released it in theaters. So it's different. Depends on where you live.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't know. But you can... First time Mike says, is it a gold or platinum chain, Mark?
Yeah.
Buy it, rent it, sell it.
No, what's funny is I've been doing that for like 2 weeks. Nobody noticed.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right, and next week we are going to be doing another brand new film hitting VOD. We're getting a chance to peep this one a little bit early, and we're going to get a screener of it, and it's coming out on the 23rd. So when this episode drops on the podcast, that's when it comes out. So it comes out on Friday the 23rd. So we'll be reviewing it a little early. You guys won't get a chance to see this in time for our review. But keep an eye out for this one once the episode drops. It is a film being released by IFC Midnight, and it's called Pie Wacket.
What are you guys in the fourth grade?
Fuck yeah, Jesus Christ. What's so funny about that?
Hey, I'm going to bring the house down by shoving this pen up my nose.
Make sure you go far enough.
It's got Laurie Holden in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that.
Hey, now.
It's called Pie Wacket.
Pyewacket. Pie Wacket.
With Laurie Holden.
Use it in a sentence. How would you? Is that a real word?
I summoned a demon named Pie Wacket. Fuck, Jesus Christ.
To be fair, those two don't have a grasp on like English, so you start throwing nonsense words at them, it's gonna sound for.
Is that a real word?
Look it
Pie
up.
is a real word, dude.
I know pie and wacket's a verb.
It's P-Y-E.
P-Y.
It's a name. It's something's name.
Oh yeah, like the Johnny Pie Wacket. Not you, Johnny. A different Johnny. There's a lot of Johnnies out there.
Yeah.
Like Bob Pie Wacket. Pie Wacket W. Warwick. What the fuck? I don't know. I'm sure it's fine.
I bet we have some voicemails.
It struck me funny.
Cecil says, it has some good atmosphere, Veronica. I was hoping more from the trailer. Should have blended in a little bit more of the craft. I guess you want a little bit more of the craft.
No.
What was the girl?
Fairuza Balk.
Fairuza Balk.
Fairuza
Yeah.
Balk.
Do you want
Oh,
some more
and,
Fairuza Balk?
It wasn't Locke Voorhees, but who was that girl? She was in Half Baked. I like
Half
her.
Bank?
Half Banked.
Oh,
She was
at Rock and Shock. I know. Rachel True. Chick from Scream. What's her name?
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
And the chick from
The other one.
damn it. My brain's
Well, this is compelling.
yeah, my brain's farting out.
Okay, moving on.
Everyone in the chat room's like, huh? Pie Wacket?
See? It's a weird fucking word, right?
First time Mike says, I love Robin Tunney.
Yeah, that's who.
Robin
yeah,
Tunney.
Robin
That's
Tunney.
her name.
Yeah.
Granddaughter of John Tunney. Jack Tunney.
Jack Dunn,
Jack Tunney, yes.
fictional president of WWF, kayfabe promoter in Canada.
Yeah,
That's true.
there you go.
Well, the part of this movie did have like some of the cast of Shameless if they were in like a haunted.
Empire Records. That's the name of the movie I was trying to think of.
Yeah, she shaves her head.
Yeah.
All right, so next week we're gonna watch
Pie Wacket.
Pie Wacket. There you go. Good, Raven Shot. I'm proud of you.
See, yeah.
You want to see it on? I'll show you it's real. What do you say, Mars?
What's funny is we can't talk about it here, but that's not going to be the thing that makes him the most mad about this movie.
Oh.
There you go. Pie Wacket.
No, that's fucking weird.
It's a cool poster, right?
It's a cool poster.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more. I want to be surprised. I like going in.
You'll be disappointed.
What, you guys all know about this fucking movie?
No, these guys don't fucking know.
Well, Avery sound like he fucking knows.
He doesn't
I know where your mind is going with Pie Wacket, and you're going to be disappointed.
Well, maybe not in the film, but I live alone.
Leanna says Pie Wacket. Actually, that's credible as a demon name.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a list of like acceptable like demon names?
You want me to read the fucking synopsis?
No, I'll be surprised.
All right, so shut up.
You got a really good voice, though.
You're never going to learn, are you, Johnny? You're never going to learn.
Yeah, it was no snake by the balls, but that's fucking...
Shit. All right, so...
Hey, who knew snakes didn't have balls? They're always on their stomach, for Christ's sake.
Jesus Christ.
What are you going to look up? Yeah, I tell him it's male or female. I got to hold it up.
All right, well, we're going to head to a break. We'll be back. We're going to play some voicemail. We're going to wrap some shit up and finish it out. So we'll be back in how long, MZ?
Oh, 2 and 2.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it. The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Alex West. And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
You look like you're having a convulsion there, MZ. You all right?
I think so.
Mars, did you hear the ridiculous conversation happening during the break?
No, I don't think so. Well, that's lucky for me.
All right.
Finally.
What?
Oh, nothing. No, it's just I got something on order and then they finally shipped it out.
What is it? It's from a Transformer, isn't it?
It is another Transformer. What's today's date? Today's what, the 14th?
Yep.
Okay, so it's not going to be here till next Thursday. I could deal with it.
Where's it coming from? Japan?
No, it's coming from Somerset, Wisconsin.
Why does it take so fucking long?
Because I paid for the shipping was like $4, and I said, okay.
You went standard shipping?
Yeah.
Why not pay a few extra bucks?
Well, I didn't want to. I already paid a few extra bucks just by buying the fucking thing. I can wait. I mean, I just bought another Transformer. What? 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can wait a few extra days. It's not gonna.
If you say so.
It's not gonna cripple me. I'm fine.
I'll cripple you.
The hell you are. Not from there. You're not.
All right. So Aries, he took off a little early because
there was a sale at a liquor store that he had to go hit.
No. He once again we had a pretty big. I think last night was technically a blizzard. I think it was upgraded from a nor'easter. I don't know actually.
Yeah.
Do you know? Was it a blizzard or a nor'easter?
I kept on hearing nor'easter, but you know what? I just think that nor'easter is a euphemism for blizzard. You know, because we always used to have blizzards. Now we have nothing but nor'easters.
Well,
it's a fucking blizzard.
A blizzard has to be 30. Like it's 30 sustained winds of 35 miles per hour or more.
Well, I don't think there was
3 hours.
No, I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that windy out. The snow was falling pretty steadily.
We didn't have does that grind your gears, Monster Zero?
Man, a little bit.
You know what pisses me off, Johnny?
Baseball?
Fake muscles and Blue's Clues.
I was wondering if you heard that.
That drives me a fucking muck. And now fucking blizzards.
When we came back from break, I asked if you heard the conversation, and you didn't answer, so I assume you were muted.
I was going to get a yogurt. I'm sorry.
Hey, I got issues, man. What do you want?
No, Spider-Man's got issues. You got fucking problems. Yeah, what do you think of the fake muscles, Mars?
I thought that suit looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. We're talking about the Raven Shadow will get mad if I don't say Captain Marvel, but the Shazam costume, because I guess some set photos had leaked or something like that. I think it looks cool. MZ, what do you think of the costume?
Can't stop laughing when I look at it. It's the funniest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life. I take Meteor Man a little bit more seriously than I do this.
Jeez.
Not that this is an awesome costume, right? But go back to like 1988, right? And imagine if you saw the Michael Keaton costume just like in plain light with him just walking around.
Uh-huh.
Don't you think that would like be just as fucking ridiculous?
Well, that's kind of hard to say because in retrospect, of course, I would say no. I mean, but I'm just look. The costume looks fine. It looks good. It's the muscles inside the costume that throw the whole thing out of whack. It just looks completely laughable to me.
But most of those suits have fake muscles in it. You think Michael Keaton had a fucking six-pack?
No, of course not. But then again, he never had to expose his stomach to show that if he does have a six-pack. Everybody knows that goddamn thing was molded in.
Yeah, well, how do you know Cavill's gonna fucking take his shirt off at any point?
How come?
He's a little kid that turns into an adult. Like it's supposed to be super exaggerated. He's got the strength of Hercules and this speed of Mercury.
I guess I can understand that it's exaggerated for the sake of that, but at least make it look believable and real. It just looks silly.
Well, we're just looking at an onset photo.
I mean, look at it, and it just looks like a couple of pillows are stuffed up on his arm.
Those aren't pillows.
Well, then what? Did John Candy's ass cheeks? Oh no, that's Steve Martin's ass cheeks. No, it does look silly. I see it. I can't stop laughing at it.
First time Mike says, as long as the costume doesn't have nipples, I'm good. And Evil Corny says, Henry Cavill isn't in a padded suit. Yeah, he's fucking just ripped though.
Who said Henry Cavill's in a padded suit?
Evil Corny.
I bet you he is. I mean, fucking Chris Evans looks like what I expect real Captain America would look like without his shirt on, and I bet you that suit.
From the Evans.
Yep, beefed up. Yeah, I mean it's show.
Sorry, man.
What are you laughing at now?
I'm looking at the picture.
Oh, let me see.
I can't help but look.
It doesn't look what? It doesn't look that bad. It looks like someone. It looks legit. I could see someone being that big.
You are a fucking nature.
Oh my god!
Give him a fucking peanut and put him out of his misery.
You're a fucking mutant. What the fuck?
Is he crying?
Not yet.
I'm getting there.
Raven Shadow just has no fucking regard for when this show starts.
I know.
Yeah, where he is now. Hey, you guys.
What?
I spoke with Raven Shadow and Aries earlier, but I found something a few weeks ago on Amazon, and I feel like it's not going to be there much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know about this movie called Devil's Express?
No.
It is a 70s blaxploitation gang movie about I think it happens in New York, about like an African American gang versus an invading Chinese gang. And there has a monster in the sewer that shoots electricity.
What is the name of this again?
Devil's Express.
Devil's Express, huh?
I please, you guys should come over our house on Friday and watch it.
How old is this movie?
70-something.
Is it called Gang Wars?
Yeah, it's also called Gang Wars.
Okay.
And it has a guy in a fucking awesome leather jumpsuit.
Sold. Like Sinbad?
No, better. This looks like if they made an overall version of Bruce Lee's Game of Death suit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look
Is
at
that
that.
a merman or a zombie?
Raven Shadow, that's the movie I want you to come over and watch.
Really?
Devil's Express.
Yeah.
50,000 years of death 50,000 years of death stalks the subways.
Oh shit! Can we get takeout?
Warhawk, Tanzania in Devil's Express.
So you guys, I'll see you about 8 o'clock on Friday.
Damn. That could be dope. What is that fucking monster?
I mean, my special lady friend's gonna be out of the house. Can drink some beers.
Oh, nice.
Meet Raven Shadow can anyway. Yeah, and Raven Shadow, you gotta come because I have beers that I got like a month ago, and I just want them out of my fucking house because.
I can
Brave
help
Chow,
you.
we trick you out of house and home.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't drink that much. Like, I'll go through a bottle of Kraken in a month, but I don't
A
drink that
bottle
much
of crack.
Yeah.
Oh, crack. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you guys should come over and watch that. I'd like that. I miss everybody. So.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm gonna wrap up my.
It's just MZ. You live as close as you've lived in years. You could almost walk to my house.
Yeah, I could.
I'm not.
But I'm not.
Well, that'd be fun.
No. I don't mean I'm not because I can't.
No, what are you doing?
Let's see. Friday night. I don't know.
No. Oh, good. That's good.
You got to work Saturday, but I'm not talking about coming over at like 2:30. You know, I'll make I'll make some dinner for everybody. It'll be nice. Well, we can get takeout like Raven Shadow says. Like, come on, it'll be fun.
That could be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. I still got some deck shoveling tomorrow.
Jesus Christ. It's like a never-ending fucking like shovel fest for you.
It sucks. Every day I'm shoveling, dude.
Every
Is
day.
it snowing there now? Because you guys are supposed to get more snow.
It's fucking snowing right now.
Yeah, I think it was going to just snow a little bit tonight, not much. But we're getting more on Tuesday.
Fuck.
How much?
Another nor'easter, supposedly.
Is it really a fucking nor'easter?
Yeah.
Oh,
Raven Show's fucking tapping out.
I'm
He's like,
fucking done.
He's like, fucking winter, I'm done.
It is near Easter. I get nervous and I look every day. I bought the premium version of my app just so I could keep looking at darkness for light and make sure it's not snowing.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Shouldn't.
Well, it shouldn't snow in October either.
Oh, touche.
To be fair, well, I mean, I remember one year we got snowed on at an Earth Day concert that me and Tiny Wife went to. But it was the worst too, because like we were there to see Midnight Oil and the Kinks and the Violent Femmes, but there were other bands that we were like excited for. And it fucking started snowing, and it was at an old Foxborough Stadium with those metal bleachers, and it was fucking freezing.
Oh, damn.
And then it was like Violent Femmes was supposed to come out, and it's like, but we got a special surprise first. It's Sophie B. Hawkins. So we had to fucking sit in the snow, listen to fucking Sophie B. Hawkins. Damn, wish I wish.
Sophie B. off the stage.
So fucking mad.
First time.
I literally was conscious that I had an asshole that those fucking seats were so cold.
Jesus. First time Mike says, yes, that movie is amazing in regard to the one that you just mentioned, Mars.
I'll come on over tomorrow.
Gang Wars.
Turn your brown eye blue.
And what? And then Evil Corny says, Mars, don't detour Raven Shadow from watching Black Panther.
No, he's going to watch it Saturday, he said.
Yeah, I'm on target on Saturday.
Stay on target.
Yeah, no.
They're playing at Target.
Yes. No, A New Hope is going to Salem with her mom and sister. So
Oh, really? I might be in Salem on Saturday.
No, she's going to the Essex Museum.
I probably won't be going there.
Oh, there's art there.
Art?
Yeah, there's art over there.
Yeah, that's where Kirk Hammett had his movie poster collection during Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I saw the video of that. It looked pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Well, it's
pretty awesome.
I thought it was pitched as his like action figure, his toy collection.
No.
It was predominantly his movie posters.
His poster collection, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I want to see his toys.
He's gonna go buy that book. He's got a whole book about it.
Yeah, well, I remember I have an old like it's still in my like my room at my parents' house. Because I kept a shrine.
Everyone knows you still live there, Raven Shadow.
I do live there. No, my mom very important. My mom kept my room just like I left it. But I have a picture from like an old hit parader, or like Metal Edge or whatever the fuck, and it's like Kurt like in like a room surrounded by all those like Shogun warriors, and he has like a Freddy Krueger glove, and it was like, wow, I like those things. I like Kirk Hammett.
I want to be like Kirk.
You like Dashiell Hammett?
Who's that dude?
You know.
I feel I do, but I forgot.
33 years ago, I just want to read this real
Yeah.
quick. Dee Snider single-handedly humiliated Congress for the whole world to see.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I apparently that was 33 years ago today.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched that 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, let me see if this clip is long. It's
it was so good. I mean, that fucking triple threat.
Yeah.
You know who else fucked him too is John Denver, because they all thought he was going to be on their side.
Oh yeah. I love watching. What was it? They did it on the old VH1, like shit like that. But yeah, they fucked up and didn't realize that D was fucking intelligent.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he's just some fucking dude who puts makeup on. Go ahead, Mars.
Better than even that whole thing I always found is when they targeted those people afterwards, and people like they denied it, and they say like we're not, they said we would never target anybody, and like then they had Zappa on MTV and they had like Gore on MTV, and he was like we would never target anybody, like your album has explicit lyrics, and they had put a parental guidance thing on Jazz from Hell, which he goes, but Mr. Gore, this is Jazz from Hell is 14 instrumentals. He goes, but it's okay, you're not targeting me.
We're watching the video right now, and Dee Snider walking in court with his fucking like jean jacket on and tight jeans, his hair is all out,
cut off shirt,
and literally like the fucking like Congress or whomever he was speaking in front of was literally like chuckling at him when he walked in.
That's literally how I feel going to every like meeting at my office.
Yeah, but you dressed for the occasion.
Well,
I love that. I don't know if our listeners know, because we don't often talk about that, but I'm still a big Twisted Sister fan.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah.
There's a fucking
Stay Hungry. Is an incredible album from top to bottom. But I love him, and I love Dee Snider. Yeah. He's one of the few people who I would love to.
That is the price.
Yeah, honestly, I would love to get Dee Snider on sometime. That's something I should try to follow up on, because I mean, he used to do Fangoria Radio with Tony Tipone, and Yeah, that would be a dream. I wonder if if I can't get in touch, maybe Tony has a connection still.
I saw. Remember when Dee Snider came through Spooky World?
Or is it Rocket Shock too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a great.
Kevin walked me over to introduce me twice, and it was like that scene in it was like a Scooby Doo episode. Like he must have walked over there and said, "I'd like you to meet," and I was gone.
There's a great documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but on Twisted.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome.
I want to play a little bit of this because I know our listeners vary in age. We might have some younger listeners. We certainly have some listeners who are our age or maybe even a little older. So they probably remember this. This is 33 years ago when the PMRC, who was run by Tipper Gore, this stands for Parents Music Resource Center, and it basically was trying to censor music, saying Twisted Sister and Judas Priest and all these other bands are evil and they're turning kids to Satan, and it's just so fucking ridiculous now. Like to think that people even thought this. So I just for those who haven't heard this before, this is Dee Snider in front of Congress, basically defending himself and Twisted Sister and the music industry in general. So I'm just going to play an excerpt of this.
When I open it up and I'm flattening it out on the table, really deliberate, and they're going, "Oh man, this is a lamb being."
Oh, I thought he was. Hold on, wait a sec. Let me just move it ahead. Go ahead, Rain Shadow.
But yeah, no. So it was Frank Zappa and Dee Snider that was going to testify in front of these fucking assholes. But they had a ringer because it wasn't just heavy metal music or I don't know what you want to call Frank Zappa, but obviously Frank's his own thing. But they even they cited John Denver's Rocky Mountain High as potentially being encouraging of he's smoking dope or getting high, not just enjoying the beautiful scenery. So when John Denver teamed up with these guys, it was like, oh, we like him. He's normal, So he was their kind of ringer. But there was some track in particular saying that Dee was writing about, Satanism and violence and death, and he was like, no.
Sadomasochism. He was talking,
yes.
Or suicide. Yeah. There was I forget what it is. There's a song about
Well, essentially, it was his experience in the hospital. He's like,
right,
I was having work done, and it was fucking scary, and I'm writing about it.
and he's a horror type writer, so he exaggerated it. Yeah.
All right, so I think this is it now. Let's see.
Since I seem to be the only person addressing this committee today who has been a direct target of accusations from the presumably responsible PMRC, I would like to use this occasion to speak on a more personal note and show just how unfair the whole concept of lyrical interpretation and judgment can be, and how many times this can amount to little more than character assassination.
And I am just tearing apart everything that they've accused me of, disproving beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything they've accused me of has been wrong, false, and they are scrambling. They were saying that Under the Blade was about sadomasochism and bondage. It was about my guitar player's throat operation.
It's not really a wild leap of the imagination to jump to the conclusion that that's about something other than surgery or hospitals, neither of which are mentioned in the song.
No, it's not a wild jump, and I think what I said in one part was that songs allow a person to put their own imagination, experiences, and dreams into the lyrics. People can interpret it many ways. Ms. Gore was looking for sadomasochism and bondage, and she found it. Someone looking for surgical references would have found it as well.
Yeah.
I said, I can't help that Tipper Gore's got a dirty mind, and Al Gore just, oh my God, he really jumped over the table. They were saying, we're not going to take it, what should be on the Filthy 15 for violence, and it was no more violent than the Declaration of Independence.
Wow.
Fucking Dee's awesome, dude.
Yeah, he is fucking
Dee
great.
Doesn't take any shit from anybody.
No, he's the best.
Yeah.
I really want to meet him so bad. He's just so fucking cool. Two of my most wanted covers are Everybody Knows by Leonard Cohen and Come Out and Play by Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah, so fucking dope.
There's some good comments in the chat room. Cecil says, so you review a Ouija board movie and you're thinking about summoning Captain Howdy? guys.
Good.
That's a good one.
Another thing that like runs me afoul of a lot of the younger generation. I don't care what he does, or even if he ends up helping. Like, I guess I buy some sort of strange, the fact that I don't want my world to burn, appreciate what Al Gore is doing now, but I'll never fucking trust him, because regardless of how much of a liberal hero he looked at when Bill Clinton, picked picked him for vice president for other totally political reasons. Like, I remember seeing him on MTV with his wife literally burning records. It was probably about as close as seeing, Nazis like burning books, like they were literally burning records.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Corny says, I listened to Prince with my parents.
Oh, jeez.
But the great thing, too, was, though, as they were burning those records, they were selling a whole lot fucking more.
Yeah.
And they had to buy those records in order to burn them, so.
That's true.
We got your money.
And Cecil says, if you play this episode backwards, Aries returns.
Sober.
The first time Mike says, PMRC, bunch of self-righteous pricks, the whole lot of them.
Fair.
Yep.
I mean, they, and I'm mostly indifferent to ratings. Like, I do understand, like, it's a basis by basis thing. Like, the fact that Alan Moore, like, was upset about ratings for his comic Swamp Thing was kind of absurd to me in retrospect, because it's not like it was a direct market thing. Like, that thing was sold on the stands right next to fucking Top Dog and fucking Planetary. You know what I mean? But like, but music stores are not necessarily for young children. You know what I mean? It's not like 7-Eleven or, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a thing, like, a kid would actually, like, and if a kid picks up a record, like a little kid picks up a record or a tape or whatever it would have been at the time, there's no harm in that, even if there's something kind of lurid on the cover. I mean, heavy metal record covers are about as responsible for my love of horror as anything else is in the world.
Right.
Yep.
It took years for me to get them. As cool as my parents were, like, it's not like I got them when I was 5, maybe when I was 9, but, but I think that at the end of the day, like, what's the harm if a kid picks up fucking AC/DC Blow Up Your Video off the shelf and looks at it? Like, the parent would have to buy it. How many fucking young children can bankroll themselves? And that's the thing that's, like, lost on all these, like, fucking censorship things. Like, how many fucking 9-year-olds can get to the fucking theater and watch Antichrist all on their own? Right. Like, the fact that those have a rating on it, like, film ratings, like, are kind of irrelevant in 2018, but the comic ratings, the comic things were one thing that made sense to me, because they're out in the open. You know what I mean? TV shows, having those have some sort of, like, the fact that Walking Dead has a rating, that makes sense to me, because a parent can just, like, fucking buzz through and put that on and say, oh, well, that's not for this kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but if you go to the fucking movies, like, I mean, granted, it's a weird juxtaposition that I was watching. What was that movie called? Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
And I came out of Don't Breathe a little bit, like, surprised at what I saw. At the same time, like, 9 million, like, 7-year-olds were coming out of a Pete's Dragon right across the hall. But, like, it's not like those kids are going to fucking wander into Don't Breathe. Because, like, I just think that this rating thing is, like, people parenting people's parents. People parenting other people's kids. And it's just, like, I don't know. I don't want to say I turned out okay, and obviously Mrs. Karen was fucking asleep at the wheel, if you listen to some things that this guy saw. Like, but, like, I'll just never understand. I've never, like,
the fuck?
That thing.
We got a Raven J. Sorry, Mars. Keep going.
God, that's
no,
fucking...
that whole PMRC thing was completely, like, political, and I still don't believe that more people don't like talk about how.
Well,
much
you know what, too, and for all the bad that the Republicans are doing now, that was the Democrats back then.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally was.
Yeah.
Like, they were so fucking conservative in regard to that. It's ridiculous,
Because that was Bush Senior was in charge right then, right? Was it, or was it still? Was it Ronnie?
Yeah. It was Bush Senior.
It was 33 years ago.
That was Reagan still.
Okay.
The end of Reagan, beginning of Bush.
But still, I mean, all that does is it says, well, I should get this. You know what I mean?
It makes me want to get it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing youngins have to remember is I'm not saying like, Reagan is a bad example because he went fucking hog wild for the last 4 years of his things. But like, he also like on the way out appointed on his way in and his way out. Like I think between his thing, during his thing he appointed like 8 different Democratic like advisors and stuff like that through his party. And like I remember having a very very hurtful fight one day on Elm Street Kids, trying to explain to Wiley that me having Republican leanings in 1999 was not the same thing as a Republican in 2018. Yeah. Right. It's not even fucking close.
It's really like I consider myself more of a progressive, so I guess I side more with the Democrats. However, like they're all fucking for sale. Like Democrat, Republican, they're all for sale.
It's the lesser of two evils. You really can't win no matter what you do.
They're all evil. Like no matter who. Like granted, there's some that maybe are better than others, but it all comes down to like, if some can't be corrupted, then those are the good ones, I guess. But most of them get money from lobbyists and from other special interest groups, and and they can be bought, and that's just real shady, I don't know, but
yeah, for sure.
Let's brighten things up with a Raven J. This is a fucking doozy. It's Monster Zero spooning Raven Shadow. Raven Shadow has a smoke in his hand.
Yeah, it's actually bent.
It was rough riding for a while.
Oh man, that is so fucking accurate, dude.
And behind them, in the darkness, is a monster, as we talked about.
Oh my god.
And it says, "Hey, where are your hands?" Raven Shadow says. MZ says, "Between two pillows." Raven Shadow says, "Those aren't ... Go back to sleep."
Wow. I love the look on the monster's face.
Yeah. Even the monster's confused.
Horrified.
He's horrified.
He's going next door. He's like, this place is already haunted.
What was this a reference to? Who said is something between two?
Oh, because I said that was Steve Martin's ass cheeks underneath the Shazam costume.
Oh yeah, that was quick, Raven J. He's so
Jesus
so
Christ! I didn't
fast.
remember. Yeah, what
right?
the fuck?
He's got a lot of detail.
That is
fucking
fucking
you are good,
awesome.
sir. That's New Hope's gonna like that. Wow.
I have a question for you, Johnny.
That's not my next tattoo.
Do we have a lot of voicemails this week?
We got 3.
I only ask because I can't hear them.
Yes.
He didn't play them yet.
I didn't play
No. the headset that I normally use to hear them apparently isn't working.
So you want to duck out before?
I don't want to, but I also probably don't want to sit here and listen to you guys listen to something I can't listen to.
We got some pretty good ones too. You have to go back and listen to them then, because I'm looking forward to hearing all these actually. So,
who are they? Tell me who they are. Can you tell me?
Arkham Josh, Dane Unda, and First Time Mike.
Yeah, I do want to hear all those, but I can't. I'll have to wait till listen tomorrow morning.
And Dane's, I think
wait a minute.
I think he talks about Housewife from Can Evernall.
Know what I can do? I can mute this, and even though I'll be a little bit behind, I can listen on the feed.
Yeah, do that. There you go.
Hold on.
So, First Time Mike says, everybody in power wants to tell you what to do, right or left. Yeah, and everyone loves the fucking Raven J drawing. Cecil says, epic. It's amazing. I love it. All right, so let's get some voicemail. I'm real curious to hear from Dane, because he reviewed a movie that is one of my most anticipated films, probably all of our combined most anticipated films. That's Housewife from Can Evernall. Dane got a chance to check it out. He'll probably explain. I'll let Dane talk about it. So let's cut to our boy Dane, and let's hear from him.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? It's your boy Dane. I just got out of Housewife.
So jealous.
Movie by, is it Can Evernall?
That's it, man.
Something like that. I didn't actually know that it was the director of Baskin. And wow, I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to give too much away. It might, spoil people's enjoyment of the film. What I was thinking about, why do we enjoy film so much? Why do we enjoy the arts? Why are people like us such big fanboys and girls? Because sometimes you get to experience something where you can't fucking believe what your eyes and ears are experiencing, And I've had that a few times, and it just happened to me then. For me, one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And, when you're having something like that happen, it's like magic, It's like when you was a kid and everything was larger than life. It's like magic is real. I was there with a big shit-eating grin on my face. I've just found a little quiet spot here to do this. I'm in one of the busiest places in Australia at the moment. So this movie is about a woman that had some bad experiences when she was younger, and they're still haunting her somewhat, and she has a visit from an old friend who's connected up with this cult, and it's a bit of a cult movie. And she has an encounter with this cult leader who's a very charismatic guy. I think the actor did a very fine job of playing the character. And the cult is sort of based around dreams and digging into people's into your own dreams, and also visiting other people's dreams, popping up in other people's dreams. And from here, the woman, she gets some help from this charismatic cult leader, and then things start to go get more and more bizarre as things go on. And I thought it was going in one way, and then it changed it up in another way. It reminded me a little bit of The Void, and I don't want to say where it's going to, because you can find that out for yourself. But it's in that sort of realm of, I think, Lovecraftian horror, and the visuals were just so great, and the sound and the music, it was just all coming together, and it was building the story, and the horror was just building up. And I'm very rarely scared when I'm watching a movie, but this movie was scaring the shit out of me. I was there, I had goosebumps, and I was really enjoying it, and it just kept going and built to a massive finish. And yeah, I think it's going to be on the top of some lists, this movie. And apart from that, it was pretty good. I had to move because some fucking mouth breather cunt was fucking noisily eating chips and popcorn. So I moved down the front, and then I really enjoyed the movie. I don't want to say too much more, but I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on the movie. Oh, another thing I'll just say is that as it was going along, more and more it was departing from the path of plot point A leads to plot point B and on to C, and in a sort of logical cause and effect manner. It was departing from that, and it was getting more and more bizarre. But just, some people walked out of the movie and they were like, what the fuck was that, There's some good shit going on, some good gore, some good body horror sort of thing, cosmic horror, if I can say that. But to me, like, to some people, when things not making a whole lot of sense is a good thing, It doesn't always have to be A to B to C, if you know what I mean. All right, I think I've rambled on enough, and we gotta grab something to eat and watch another movie. See you later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dane. I cannot wait for the movie. I don't know if it's been picked up for distribution. Last I saw, I don't think it had been. But somebody better pick this up soon because, I just can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm dying for this one.
Yeah, and obviously we've wanted to have Can on the show, but because he lives in Turkey, it makes it a little difficult because of the time difference. Because we do the show live. So basically, when we start at 9 p.m., I believe it's about 3 a.m. for him, I think. So it's not exactly the best time. Maybe sometime we'll be able to hook up with him. Maybe if he ever comes to the States or if he travels somewhere else, or maybe we can just reach out to him and see if we can get another voicemail. Because he did leave us a voicemail about Baskin. He told us that story of.
Well, maybe we can arrange a. Like a weekend interview with him,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We have, maybe that'll happen sooner than later. But yeah, especially we always have our extra shows, the Halloween, all that stuff. So we could probably figure something out. But he's a real great dude, and I've heard nothing but great things about. From people who've hung out with him, like from Karando, and also Tim from Korea had hung out with him as well. Yeah. So I've heard nothing but good things, and seems like a real cool guy. Cannot wait to see Housewife. So awesome, Dane! Thank you so much for the review.
You know what the coolest thing about him is
What?
that after Q&As, he like raises both his hands, then drops them quickly, and pyro shoots up.
Yes. That's not true. That's Kane Evernall. The big red machine.
I hope you enjoy the movie.
Please I love you, Tim from Korea.
Yeah. Big ups, Karando.
So thank you very much for that, Dane. I appreciate you giving us that insight. I'm super jealous, and I'm even more excited now, if that's even possible, after hearing you talk about it and how much you loved it. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Dane said it's one of the best horror movies he's seen.
Yeah, he says it's going to top a few lists, and if it's half as good as he says it is, man, it's going to be true. I can't wait.
Well, I hope it comes out this year.
Yeah, I do too, because this year's been pretty anemic so far.
Yeah,
we got some good ones coming up, but one I usually don't spoil, but in a couple weeks we're going to be reviewing The Endless, the latest film from Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who did Spring, and it's been getting a lot of rave reviews. So, looking forward to The Endless, and then we get some good stuff coming up. I'm excited for the rest of the month. We'll get some good stuff. So
I almost bought Nikki Keating's movie the other day, his new one.
Yeah, Psychopaths. We haven't done that either, so we could do that.
I realized I didn't have any money, but.
Yeah, I still do. We should do that soon. I would like to do that, and I think there's if I recall correctly, April doesn't have a ton of like releases in it that were really attractive. So maybe we'll hit that up in April.
I'd love to have Nikki on because his fucking talk show.
Mickey.
Sorry. I was thinking Darling Nikki is his movie. Nikki was his movie, right? Oh, Darling. That's what it was. Yeah,
Darling,
that's what yeah. I'd like to have him on because his fucking television show is top notch. I've watched every episode available at least 3 times.
I have yet to see The Core. I don't know why I'm waiting, but I would like to see it.
It's fucking A double plus.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. All right, well, let's cut to another voicemail, and this is going to be Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Josh from the Arkham Film Society here.
So, calling in with my thoughts on this week's film. Veronica was a good little, I'll just come out and say a treat. I actually had not really heard anything about it. I know that there was a bit of hubbub with people claiming it was the scariest film ever, but I generally tend to ignore anything of that nature that I hear because, it's usually just one person says it and then a press person runs wild with it. So you always kind of have to take those things with a grain of salt. But being as I like the filmmaker, I was very eager to go into it. And I thought it was a really good story. I thought it was very well acted. I thought for the most part the effects were really good. There was a couple CG things that I was like, but overall most of it's good. I did have one weird story point. I know that the mom is super busy with her business and obviously is a single parent. So you kind of there's some leeway in her not thinking that anything's going on, that Veronica is just kind of not doing what she wants her to do. But for a good chunk of the movie, Veronica has that handprint on her arm from the entity that the mother just doesn't seem to notice. You figure a mother would be like, what happened to your arm? But, I guess we can let that slide, huh? Overall, I thought this was a really fun film. So it's a definite treat and a definite recommend. So, interested to hear what you guys thought of it, but I have a feeling that, overall, it'll be well-liked. Other than that, I've actually caught a couple interesting films recently. Well, one thing to mention is a indie film called Thoroughbreds. It's very pacey, but it's one of those very deliberate paces, and it's a very interesting and engrossing film. Maybe not for everyone, but I would definitely check it out. It's in a limited release now, so it's out there. You guys can go see it. It's also, I think, the last screen appearance of Anton Yelchin. I might be wrong on that, but I know if there's anything else, it's probably maybe only one other thing that he made before passing away. So that's also definitely of interest. Oddly enough, juxtaposing that, because I said that, Thoroughbreds is kind of pacey, but it really works, is I just saw the new Strangers film today. And as I think I commented on online, that was the most plodding 85-minute movie I think I have ever seen. For the most part, it's an all-right and entertaining film. Check it out. It's at least worth a watch. But there's so much indecisiveness on the part of the characters that if you cut out all the times the characters think about what they're going to do or wait to do something, you'd probably have a 50-minute movie. And that really kind of got aggravating as the film went on. And the last thing I want to mention, because I know you guys tend to be more looking for the VOD films and stuff. There's a movie, I don't know when it came out, I know it's available on iTunes and other platforms, and I don't think it came out very long ago. It's a film called MFA. Look into it. I highly recommend it. You guys should probably give it a shot for one of the shows. I think it would pull out some really interesting discussions. So, hey, I think I gave you guys enough to chew on there. But just to reiterate for Veronica, treat, recommend. All right. Hey, you guys have a good one. Talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye-bye.
No. Awesome, Josh. Thanks, man. And yes, I am. So he mentioned Thoroughbreds, which just hit. It is playing in theaters around here, I believe. So I think the limited release did hit here. This is the new Strangers film, which I don't know if I'll catch it on theaters. I think I'll probably wait, even though I have Movie Pass. And MFA actually was on our list for last year, but it just didn't make the cut because we had so many other things to to check out, especially in December. So it unfortunately did not make the cut, but with your recommendation, I'll maybe we'll add it back on. So awesome, Josh. Thanks, man. We always appreciate you calling in and hearing from you and letting us know some recommendations. So
I'm excited for The Strangers having nothing to do with the original. Like just something like just the way the trailers are put together and some of the cast. Like I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, I do want to see it. I just don't know if I'll have the time to catch it in theaters. There's some other stuff I'd rather see. So, all right, and finally, we're going to hear from First Time Mike.
Nice.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing?
Good, bud.
Wishing my Northeast family the best of luck during all that snow you guys are getting. I was thinking about you guys.
Ain't done yet.
Tell me more where that
Hope all
came
is
from.
well and you guys are safe. As I record this, it's March 14th. Yesterday, March 13th, was the 22nd anniversary of the death of the late, great Lucio Fulci. Yes. One of my favorite Italian directors. I make no bones about that.
You're welcome.
And as much as I do enjoy this Fulci renaissance that we're seeing now with Blu-rays and Ebon Comics, Fulci Comics. And today I'd like to talk about some of the lesser-known Fulci films that I like. First off is The New Gladiators, Fulci's post-apocalyptic movie, starring Jared Martin, Fred the Hammer Williamson, the lovely Eleanor Gold, whose name I found out was Eleonora Briglidori. I probably really messed up that name. The always awesome Al Cliver, and the always awesome Hal Yamanuchi, who, surprisingly enough, also showed up in The Wolverine, which made me smile a lot. The New Gladiators is basically, instead of being set on a desert wasteland, is set in a world where warring TV stations are looking for the best of to make the profits. So they decide, hey, everybody likes that sports. We're gonna bring back live gladiatorial combat. So the New Barbarians is full. I mean, the New Barbarians has a different one. Or a porn movie, but I go on. The New Gladiators is a fun throwback. So you have like high-tech gladiator costumes, good motorcycles that have like Roman short swords in them, a lot of star filters, Claudio Casanelli being really cool. It's a fun movie. I think it's Troma was streaming it on YouTube. The DVD that I have is a Troma DVD. I don't know if it's out on Blu-ray, but if you can see it, New Gladiators is a fun addition to the Italian post-apocalyptic, and it's different, and I really recommend it. Manhattan Baby is fun. I kind of didn't watch it for a while because I had heard from people like in books and by Chaz Ballin, like Chaz Ballin really didn't like this movie, and other people that recorded it. But I kind of like Manhattan Baby. It has Christopher Connolly, Mike from Raiders of Atlantis. Mike.
Nice.
Weird Egyptian Magic. Carlo DeMajo being funny and disappearing for no apparent reason. The score is really good. I like the Manhattan Baby score. Some really good stingers in it, and a lot of striking visuals that sometimes, as some of Fulci's later ones, didn't go as well. But Manhattan Baby, it was streaming on Shudder for a while. Don't know if it's on there, but Manhattan Baby is worth checking out too. I have a soft spot for Conquest, one of my favorite of the weirder Euro barbarian movies. It's a bloody barbarian movie. It has a like dreamy, gauzy look, but with a lot of blood. I had a friend watch it with me, and he said it looked very Frazetta at certain points, and I can see what he's saying too. But it's Frazetta with a lot of weird stuff like zombie Wookiees and Beastmen, and there's a lot of blood. This isn't like Conan type blood. This is like a lot of like vicious, like ripping people apart and eating them type blood that you didn't see in a lot of these movies. well worth checking out. Even in the sharper copies, you're going to have that gauzy look. But Conquest, I would love to see action figures on them in the Masters of the Universe style, if only because then you can have a topless Tila type figure. That makes me sound weird, but
sexy dude.
I think we're all friends here, right?
Yes.
Ha.
Evil
Okay,
Lynn.
some other recommendations, because I'm looking in. It's about the 4-minute mark. I also enjoyed The House of Clocks, one of Fulci's later ones. That was a fun one. Some good visuals. The Black Cat, I saw it when they had it on Shudder, and that was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And someday I want to talk to you guys about your thoughts about Zombie 3. It's a zany, overacted acid trip of a zombie movie with a heavy dollop of Bruno Mattei, who also could be talked about in great length here on your show, because that guy just made some bad movies and he didn't really care. He was making trash till the day he died, and I really respect that. Well, time for me to go. I've been rambling on too long. This is First Time Mike, wishing you all, be safe with your weather, and goodbye, Master Fulci. Never got a chance to meet you, but we all enjoy, and you enjoy your movies still. This is First Time Mike saying goodnight. Bye.
Awesome First Time Mike. Lots of choice Fulci there.
Yeah. He mentioned Conquest, and I fucking love that movie.
I adore it.
It is so good.
I'm salivating over the prospect of getting a blue for that one day.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen Conquest.
No?
No.
I got it on DVD. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's probably my biggest guilty pleasure, and it's a Fulci flick. And man, and it does not get the love I feel that it deserves, because it's so, and it's not, I don't want to say it's anti-Fulci, but it's so opposite of Fulci. Movie that he did with John Savage called Door into Silence. He made in 1990.
What is it called?
Door into Silence.
Oh, Door into Silence. Okay.
Yeah. And it's basically John Savage driving around the back streets of New Orleans, and he comes across this casket. Not the casket, but the hearse, and it has a casket in it in the back, and it keeps on chasing him around, or it won't let him pass. It just keeps on causing problems with him on the road. And then he meets up with this mysterious woman who tries to tell him certain things. He's not listening, and then he goes back on the road. A majority of his time on camera is about him just driving around. He must have spent about 85% of the time just driving around, and it's really almost a plotless film. There's virtually no gore, no violence, no maggots. None of the typical tropes that you would get from a typical Fulci film. This was nearing to the end of his
career.
Directing career, and close to the end of his life as well. He was like 6 years away. Yeah, 6 years away from his death at this point. He was really slowing down, and it's a fantastic little oddity. It's so opposite of what we know of what we know Fulci to be, and it's for that reason alone that I love it, because it's not a great film. It's not really even a good film. It's a bad film, but it's so bad it's enjoyable, and it's to the point where it's boring, because all it is him just driving around with little droplets.
You should be this film's PR guy.
I know, right? With little droplets of
in fact, it's boring.
With little droplets of interest, sporadically thrown throughout the film, and then finally culminating into an end that really that was very underwhelming, but at the same very underwhelming, but at the same time appropriate. But at the same, but at the same time appropriate.
Boring films. Bad. Fake muscles. Blues Clues.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to check it out. It's pretty wild. It's amazing. It's so
boring.
silly.
It's slow. It's the guy's almost dead. Check it out.
But it's
a lot of driving.
Yeah, but it's so oddly captivating to me. You know, it's so bizarre to me that I like this movie as much as I do. But I seriously, I say check it out. Definitely check it out. Door into Silence.
Sold.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
Let's watch that Friday, Dynamo.
Punished.
Yeah.
I mentioned House of Clocks. House of Clocks was a fun little flick.
Yeah.
What time is it? Look around. It's clocks there.
All right. Well, that's it for voicemail.
I gotta go.
You gotta go?
No, well, you should probably go.
You got more stuff to shovel?
Yeah, I fucking do. I gotta bust up the fucking roof rake.
Fucking roof rake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna because it was gonna be so fucking warm this weekend, but if we get more snow on fucking Tuesday, I can't risk it.
I know. I'm getting anxiety now. I gotta watch
It
Black
is supposed
Panther.
to be 50 on Saturday, I think, though.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's the world will end and just fucking wrap it up.
Well, we're getting there.
All right. Well, hey,
I'm gonna call. I just realized that I'm gonna call Al Gore and tell him that all those fucking records he burned have ruined the ozone.
Yeah, there you go. You had to fucking burn Warrant Cherry Pie, motherfucker, huh?
I'm just looking into it, and Door into Silence is on YouTube.
YouTube, all right. I was gonna say maybe Shudder.
More on Boring Tube.
Cecil says Fulci lives.
Jesus Christ! What if we have a seizure? What are you fucking looking at? It's like strobe lights on his
Was
phone.
another tampon killing a puma?
Yeah, no, it's
I
not that.
wish. I like to see Fulci direct that.
Cake farts. What are you fucking watching over there?
You're a weird fucking guy.
Yeah. Evil Courtney says, "Don't miss Black Panther."
I know. I
Raven
got
Shadow."
anxiety too. I got to fucking deal with Courtney.
Wow, he's almost threatening you at
Courtney?
this point.
Courtney.
Evil Courtney.
Evil Courtney. I got a frog in my throat. No, I had a nice conversation with Courtney during the snowstorm. It was nice. It was a good day.
What did you guys talk about?
Stuff. The things that dudes metal and flannel. That's what dudes talk about. And engines. No, I got anxiety because I know I got to fucking talk to Courtney about Black Panther.
Evil Courtney.
Evil Courtney.
You said Courtney.
I don't know.
How
what
about
I
Evil
said.
Corky?
Slow it down.
Evil Corky.
He'll fucking throw a pumpkin bomb at you. You get a bad day too. He'll fucking fuck with him.
Cecil says Fulci is inexplicably great and bad at the same time, but nailing the eyeball gore.
Oh yeah, his
eye trauma. His on point.
His ocular violence is unparalleled.
Oh, great.
And First Time Mike says Door into Silence is weird as hell. They had it on B Movie TV one night. Pretty much a John Savage monologue.
I'm fucking sold.
Yeah.
Fuck Panther. I'm gonna check this out. I'm just kidding, Corny.
Yeah, don't get Evil Courtney upset. All right.
Corny.
Corky.
No, that's not nice. Don't do that.
I've had more than one dream you could file as Evil Courtney.
That's a different person.
Yeah, different person altogether.
I could say that now that Aries is gone.
Yes. All right, so I think we're going to wind things down here. We're getting a little closer to episode 300.
Jeez.
We are at 294, so we got a few more to go. I think it's at the end of April. We're going to do 300, so we still have. We should probably get out ahead. We should probably give some thought and get out ahead of what kind of feedback we want.
I think I wish I was going to be in the studio, but I think I'll be here.
Let me find the date. That would be the 25th, April 25th, Mars.
Yeah, I'll be here.
That's episode 300.
Wow.
Oh, no, wait. Maybe I won't be. No, I won't be. I'll be in the studio, I think.
Good. Be good to have you here.
Because I'm all confused because I would be in the middle of my 6-day stand in April is when I'm going on vacation for my birthday. So I'll be in the middle of my 6 days off. So I was just confused because I'm not going to be working the week before. So
perfect. All right, so we'll wind things down here. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about before we say our goodbyes?
No, you excited for to host Darkness for Life, Raven Shadow?
I am. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Get some anxiety. It's a very special event, so you got to come out swinging.
It looks like so far. It looks like it's gonna be a fucking jam-packed, crazy horror show. So.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Nice.
It's gonna be fucking good.
That's why I want the Deadites to get on early. So.
Stop partying. I'm gonna have to get a ride.
I'm gonna go downstairs and hide. That's why I want to go. There's gonna be a lot of people there. Me and Tiny will be downstairs playing PlayStation.
All right, so let's say goodbyes, MZ.
Raven Dash douchebags.
Raven Channel.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
All right, Mars Man.
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for episode 294. I want to thank everyone who hung out in the chat room. We had some awesome folks hanging out, and I think we had some new folks. So good to see you guys all hanging out, and thanks for hanging with us. I know we had some technical issues to start, and last week we weren't even on YouTube because there was some fuckery or shenanigans, whatever. You take your pick, whichever word you want.
Monkey shines.
Yeah, there is monkey shines. Skullduggery afoot. So lots of stuff going on. So we appreciate you guys hanging with us. And also for those folks who are going to listen to the podcast on Friday, thank you. Thank you for checking us out. By the way, we are now available on Spotify. So that makes 6 ways you can hear us, I guess. We're on, 7 technically, I guess. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Satchel Podcast Player, Spotify. You can go to our website, trickortreatradio.com, or you can just download it from Buzzsprout or from our RSS feed. So that's 7 right there.
Or you
7
can
ways.
just come to the studio and watch us do it live right in front of you.
Yeah, or you can watch it on YouTube, actually. So there's 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got no excuse. There's plenty of ways.
You could buy 1 through 3 of greatest hits and take it with you in the car if your iPod's broken.
Yeah, you could do that for sure. So lots of ways to check it out. And you know what I'd love to do? I don't know if this could happen. We have, I believe, 50-something 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts right now. I know it's a lot to ask because we have about 6 weeks until episode 300. I would love to get close to 100
I'd love it too.
reviews on Apple Podcasts. So right now as of now, we're at 54. So if you guys dig what we do here on the show and you want to let people know, just go to Apple Podcasts. If that's what you listen to, if you do listen to on another service, there may be a way to give a rating there as well. But if you know someone, if you've already given us a rating, borrow someone who has an iPhone. Borrow their phone for a second. Write the review. Give us a 5-star review. We want to get up to close to 100 because we want to get this out there. We want people we want the show to be in their ears, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, we want to infect them.
Yeah, we want to infect them. It's like a virus.
Yeah, but put our thoughts in their thoughts.
What?
We want to insert ourselves into their
It is weird.
brain stuff.
Never mind. Just
You don't have to like us either. Just make shit up. That's fine. It doesn't even matter.
Well, no, I don't want it to be too disingenuous.
No,
So give us a 5-star review. If you have not given us one yet, go to Apple Podcasts. It's pretty easy. You can just click on Trick or Treat Radio if you have us already subscribed, or just do a search for Trick or Treat Radio. Find us, and then when you do, scroll down until you see ratings and reviews. And then if you scroll down underneath a little bit further, it says write a review. Just click that, give us 5 stars, and then just a few words about what you like about the show. Or gibberish if you want, whatever you want. But we really appreciate that. So if you have not given us a review, consider giving us one. Or if you've already given us one, I don't know, steal someone else's iPhone and give us a review on their phone. So there you go. So thanks, guys, and we appreciate everyone. And next...
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Vote for, we'll put the thing up in...
yeah, it's in the Trick or Treat Radio group already.
Yeah, in the Trick or Treat Radio group. Vote for the Deadites in the Pulse Music Awards and just the Best Electronic Act. I'd be very excited to win that 2 years in a row after being ignored for 15 years.
So we are. If you just want to vote for the Deadites, we're number 10, Best Electronic Act. Just click on the link in the Trick or Treat Radio group. I should tweet that out as well, and then just look for that. All you got to do is just go look for number 10, Best Electronic Act. Vote for the Deadites. Submit. Boom. You're done. We'd appreciate it. It'd be awesome. We'd love to win that award again. And that's it. So thanks, everyone. Next week, come back. We're going to be talking about Pie-Wacket, and we'll probably have some other stuff up our sleeve. So have a good week. We'll see you then.